Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Bad Comic Review Streams. This is number 45 in the quasi-named show. Someday I'll come up with a real name for this because I never really do them on Fridays that much anymore. All right. Real quick, thank you, Circus Zero, for the donation. Sorry I'm going to miss the stream, but I'll watch later. Medicare streaming, going to catch that. Really need some good laughs today, but it's been a hell of a stressful day. Sorry to hear it, man. Yeah, I can't blame you for that. Didn't know Medicare was streaming, or I wouldn't have done this right now. But thanks, dude, and have fun. I hope your day gets better. All right, let's see who's in the chat. Shady Grin, how's it going? Old Guy Gamer, Cougar Knife, Tony, how's it going? Fatty 057, Wu-Tang, that's for the children. TOS, how's it going, man? James Colley, Old Guy Gamer, always good to see you. There's Cirque, how's it going, man? Random, Evolved, how's it going, guys? Cynic, hi, Angela. Kevin Sweetie, Mr. Costin's here. Hey, Retro, Captain Tripper, how's it going? Happy New Year to you guys as well. BG, hi, how you doing? The Illegal, how's it going? Chris Lee, how's it going, man? Good to see everybody here today. And Happy New Year to all of you. I know a lot of you are in Australia and spread around various places. So some of you are in the future, in next year. Staying sexy today. Dude, I'm exhausted. I was not just bringing the sexy back today. I've been running all over, doing errands, driving people around, being generally helpful. And this comes after, okay, so a little setup, a little insight into my excitement of my life. Yesterday, I cleaned out an entire storage unit for a buddy of mine by myself. Cleaned it entirely out because couldn't be done any other way. Nobody else could do it. Hey, Anthrax. Hey, Vanessa. Happy New Year as well, man. No worries, dude. I totally get it, man. You guys can watch this on the replay. It's not a big deal. The Incredible Hunk, me too, man. Right? So I cleaned out this storage unit, and then a buddy of mine's in the hospital, so I took his wife to work, and I had to drive her up to work because of the holiday. She had to be there at 7 a.m., so I had to get up at 6. Well, I had to get up at 5:30, technically, and then go pick her. Well, I had to get showered and shaved and all that crap, and I did about half of that because I showered. And then I had to run over, drive her out to work, come back. Then I had to do some shit around the house, and then I had to go pick her up, come back. Then my dad needed groceries, so I had to go do that. I was just running all over the place today. And I'm all sore from already doing all this work. And then Dad was like, oh, can you pick me up some bottled water too? So I had to get a couple cases of that. And oh my God, my back's killing me. So it was hard bringing all that sexy back. There's a woman in a bikini on it. Yes, indeed it does. I try to be evolved, but man, I am tired. Hey, Evil One, how's it going? I'd pick up pizza and a bottle for my mom's. Nice. Yeah, I bought pizza for myself, and I gave some to my mom because for some reason she loves Little Caesars pizza, and I think that's like it's right above Pizza Hut for lowest of the low. So I got that, and I was gonna get something good like Marco's, which I know a lot of you don't have Marco's because the world hates you. But I was going to get that, but I know she loves Pizza Hut, so I got that, and I gave her half the pizza and put it in her fridge. And then I came home and ate that sad excuse for pizza, and it's been tearing up my gut since. Oh, have fun, Spud Gun. Thanks for watching. Take the chains off the minivan. I wish I had a minivan. I used to have one ages ago. Great stuff. Little Caesars hasn't been good in, at least 20 years, random. Although, if you have Jets pizza around you, it's how Little Caesars used to be with their, deep dish pizzas. And they're fantastic. I love Jets pizza, but I haven't had one in a long time. You're not wrong, James. There are some pizza places, or some frozen food pizza that are way better. 10-hour shift. Oh, dude, that sucks. Just ordered Little Caesars. That's cool, man. I'm not a fan. I can't eat it without getting some of the dipping sauces because otherwise it's just a little too greasy for me, I think. Oh well, Evil One, at least you're getting rid of the germs that China gave you. All right, let's get into this. We got some really tragic news for those of you that were predicting the end times, because we had a couple of bad things happen. Not a whole lot of comic book news today, but there will be some. That's why we're branching out. Why is this not keeping up? Marco's is not pizza. It reminds me of gas chamber in a boot camp. Holy shit, dude! That's a rough comparison. Worst pizza I've ever had was a take and bake from Safeway. Walmart's hot and ready. Oh, yeah, the Walmart ones are way better than the Safeway. Yeah, I've been there, dude. Jesus returns to spending all the time flipping everyone's table. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. I would not be surprised at all. Well, it's been a pretty tough week. Sorry about the noise. I had to get something out of the fridge. It's a great thing about streaming from your kitchen. All the food's within reach. It's been a tough week all around, and it got a lot worse today because Betty White died at 99 on the last day of the year, which tells you how next year is going to be, because this year has sucked donkey balls. 2019 sucked ass for me personally. The end of it did anyway. 2020 sucked ass pretty bad, and 2021 is sucked ass pretty bad. And my stream might be dying. That's lovely. Connection's unstable. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. I don't know if you guys can even hear me now. Connection's unstable, and people are joining this. Okay, good. Have sex with her, my life is ruined. I'm sorry, Evil One. That old lady's sex. Yeah, 17 days before her 100th birthday. So this is a big kick in the nuts to all of us, because everybody was saying, like, if Betty White dies, it's the end times. Well, I think the fourth seal just got opened. Remember, they're going to make us eat bugs soon, so that's the locusts. So, yeah, behold, a pale horse came to take Betty White away. Star of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Golden Girls, hot in Cleveland, died shy of her 100th birthday. And she was a legend. She's been around, obviously, forever. And even in her 80s, she was hosting, like, SNL and stuff like that. 99 vital years. Yeah, dude. Hey, Spittle Boogie. How's it going? If Betty asked you, would you say no? Yeah, I don't do old people. I don't want some rotting vag wrapped around my wiener. No, thanks. Still, what's his face from the Stones? Yeah, I wouldn't count on that much too much longer either. That's probably next year's surprise twist ending. 1922. She was born before TV and before the car was very popular. A lot of people were singing her praises, from Ryan Reynolds all the way down. So you can find these online. But it sucks that she died overnight Thursday into Friday in her sleep at her Brentwood home, just short of her 100th birthday. I have an aunt that, a great aunt, lived to be 101, I think it was. But she hit the triple digits. Only member of the family on that side that, because there were 7 or 8 women in that family group, and she was the only one to cross 100. But they all lived into their late 90s. Like, my grandmother was 94, 95, and she was the youngest one to die. So pretty impressive when they hit that age, but your skin's all like tissue paper and you have no idea what the fuck's going on. None of your senses really work. And you pretty much just sit there and fart all the time. So I don't think I want to get to be that old, but yeah. White joined the cast of the Mary Tyler Moore Show for the CBS sitcom's fourth season in 1973 as Sue Ann Nivens, the blunt, man-lusting star of WJM TV show The Happy Homemaker, and she won 2 straight Emmys for Outstanding Continuing Performance by a Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. She was nominated for the Golden Girls every year from 86 to 92, winning the trophy in her first try. And she was on Hot in Cleveland most recently in 2015, 6-season run. She was cast in her late 80s as something I can't pronounce. So yeah, it's a tragedy. So, but she had a good long run. She died in her sleep. That's really the way to go. You don't want to suffer. So yeah, there's worse ways to go. We're seriously depressing us older folks. Yeah, dude, I know. My father died at 21. My mom died at 17. Granted, they were killed. Damn. Yeah, yeah, dude. Enjoy every minute of your life that you can, because you never know when you're going to check out. That's true, James. I'm pretty sure that is a law that you get a Dalmatian on your 101st. I only saw a couple episodes of Hot in Cleveland. I could see why people liked it. Wasn't for me, but I could see why people liked it. So yeah, Betty White has left the building, but it's important not to forget other people that have passed too. Mickey Mouse Club alum Tiffany Hale, dead at 46. She was part of the 90s pop band The Party. Tiffany Hale, best known for the all-new Mickey Mouse Club, died at 46. Sad news of the star's passing was shared on social media by her former band, The Party, which was formed by the Disney Channel of Mickey Mouse Club alums. Earlier this month, she suffered a cardiac arrest that resulted in her being left in a coma. After many prayers with her family by her side, our dearest Tiff took her last breath Christmas morning. She's now resting peacefully. Dying on Christmas morning will fuck up all of your family. That's awful. I think there should be a rule that if somebody dies on Christmas Day, the doctors just fudge it so you either died the day after or the day before. 46 is really young for a heart attack, though. In a statement, Hale's family asked for privacy, and her mother and sister sent them all their love. Their love to all, as well as many thanks to such kind support for the years. Thank everybody, talented, lovely spirit, blah, blah. I don't know who these people are. She was very loved. The band said in a statement to Fox News, we're all very sad. Yeah, I remember this chick from around then because she was kind of cute. Not supermodel or anything, but, you know, I'd have hit it. I had much different standards then. So, yeah, she's gone. Yeah, she appeared on a 1991 episode of The Party Machine with Nia Peebles and a 1993 episode of Blossom with that weird-looking girl. And she had a song in Doogie Howser MD. The group went on hiatus, though she did not rejoin the band because they went on hiatus for like 15 years. So yeah, another loss there if you're a 90s kid. Yeah, Kiever, that chick whose name I can't pronounce. That chick's weird looking. That's understandable, Ginger. Dad had a heart attack in his 30s. Oh, geez, dude. Yeah, one of my friends, his boyfriend just had a heart attack, and I was like, dude, are you okay? Because he's pretty young. He's about my age, so mid 40s. But he eats really healthy, like, and I'm like sitting here eating pizza, like, oh, that sucks, dude. So I'm all fat, and he's like in shape and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm gonna die. I gotta take better care of myself. Then the other big news for deaths Because let's just get this shit out of the way now. John Madden died at 85. This is from ESPN. John Madden, the Hall of Fame coach turned broadcaster, whose calls combined with simple explanations provided a weekly soundtrack to NFL games for 3 decades, died Tuesday morning. He was 85. He died unexpectedly and did not detail a cause. Madden gained fame in a decades-long stint as the coach of the renegade Oakland Raiders, making it 7 AFC title games and winning the Super Bowl following the 76th season. He combined a 103-32-7 regular season record with his .759 winning percentage, is the best among NFL coaches with more than 100 games. I don't know what any of that means, and I don't really give a fuck either. So if you're middle-aged, you probably know him from the tail end of his coaching career to the early and majority of his broadcasting career. If you're under 40, you probably know him from the video games and maybe broadcasting. But if you're in your 50s or older, you definitely remember him as a coach, I would say, and probably the other two as well. But I think everybody can understand him from the video games, and that's where commercials and stuff like that too. That's where most people know him from. So yeah, he actually was a pretty important coach for his era, but the video games is really where it's at. Oh, have fun, Spittle Buggy. Oh yeah, man, football games are racist. I forgot. Modern day slave trading or some shit. Dude, Kiefer, damn, that sucks. See, I can't imagine that. That would be awful, not knowing your parents. That would, even just one of them, that would really fuck you up, I think, or give you like issues. Yeah, we lost Norm Macdonald too. We covered that one though. Yeah, Betty White wins in the longevity run, but he was kind of out of shape and fat too. The kid who shot Old Yeller died this year too. Jesus. You get nothing, Tony. When you turn 100 in the States, they're like, yeah, get over yourself. That's about it. You might get your name on a billboard. And the guy that used to read people's names off when they turned 100, he died. He didn't even last that long. Only have a little over 24 hours to go. You can do it, buddy. Just don't watch the Ring video. Madden is a tribute. Good luck with that, Retro. They just rehash the old stuff. All right, let me get caught up here with chat a little bit more. Get forced to move to Florida. Nothing can stop Ronan the Accuser from finally launching his invasion. You're probably not wrong, Assassin. How's it going, man? Like PS3 long time ago. They don't make those anymore? Hey, Louie. Hey, Oki. 2022's off to a banging start. Yeah, right? A rookie is 650 grand? Holy fuck. Oh, Jesus. That's horrible, Kiever. Anyone who's dead here, please raise their hand. Only when voting. Oh, thanks for linking the show's Assassin. Sega's like from the Stoner Age. Yeah, it is. But if you want to read more about a football guy dying, there's the link. Because, quite frankly, I don't care that much. That sounds horrible out loud, but I'm not a football person. We never watched sports in my family. Dad would get bored with it, so. All right. Let's talk about Ghostbusters. So there's a new big box set of Ghostbusters coming out for 4K. It's going to be $150 because they like money. And it looks really cool. It looks like a trap, one of the ghost traps. And it's got the 3 movies in it and some bonus features. Some really cool bonus features, too. Like, there's apparently going to be a different cut of the original Ghostbusters, like the preview one they showed to audiences. Well, of course, Paul Feig threw a big crybaby hissy fit about it. So probably to pacify him, but some people have suggested that it was pre-planned anyway. They're putting the 2016 Ghostbusters in as a digital download, which is probably the smart way to do it because nobody really wants that movie. I mean, who would? Hey, Lester, how's it going, man? Hey, Spud. Watch this video of a chick as well. I can hear noises. Oh. Madden was a cultural icon. Yeah. If I know who he is, he's famous. If I don't know a sports person's name, it's because I don't fucking watch sports. But as a non-sports person, if I know who you are, means you're famous. Like, I know who Tom Brady is. And I don't fucking care. I know about the Flakegate. Bitchy queen is bitchy. True. Yeah, thankfully it's only a digital code and not an actual disc because they weren't going to capitulate that far. The thing's already been made, I'm sure. They already pressed all these discs. And they're not going to try and redo it for this turd film. But I haven't seen Afterlife. I really wanted to see it in the theater, but I just haven't had time. I was actually going to go see it today, but then I had to go take somebody to to work, and things got derailed from there. And I kind of forgot too. So the upcoming Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection box set has already been grabbing headlines around the web thanks to Sony's heavily celebrated exclusion of the 2016 reboot Ghostbusters Answer the Call. Paul Feig's poorly received reboot movie. You said reboot twice in the same sentence, starring Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. All of whom are not that funny. This comes from Bleeding Fool. Feig's Ghostbusters reboot was released in 2016 and rebooted the property as an all-female ghost-catching squad in New York City. So edgy. The film was universally panned by fans, but did moderately well at the global box office because foreigners will watch any Hollywood movie because it's better than their shit. However, the studio decided to pass on a sequel and opted to greenlight Afterlife. Yeah, because they got Ivan Reitman's kid. And it was obviously a good idea because that movie's already made its money back and then some. It probably didn't make as much money as 2016, but the budget was significantly smaller. I think they said they did this one on 50 million and probably another 100 million for promo stuff. And they did sit on it for like a year or so. Feig first called out the exclusion of the film following Sony's initial announcement. Now, let me read this like I heard it in my head. Sony Pictures. I know this must be a mistake. We did have a lot of fans, and Bill, Dan, and Ernie were in it, and it won the Kids' Choice Award for Best Feature Film the year it came out. So I guess this was just an oversight? First of all, who gives a fuck about the Kids' Choice Award? Seriously. For Best Feature Film, nobody fucking cares what kids think, except other kids. Also, Bill, Dan, and Ernie were in it, but that was a contractual thing. They practically had to threaten to sue Bill Murray. And none of them looked like they wanted to be there, and they didn't play their original characters. So I don't count that. This is some alternate universe shit you're talking about. 75 million for everything? Damn, that's cheap. Yeah, 2016 lost money because it cost a fortune to make it. Look what they got. A bunch of SNL skits with shit, what's his name? The guy was in Beverly Hills Cop. I just drew a blank because I said Bill Murray right at the same time. Yeah, the Haunted Mansion special effects level. Hey, Rotten Corpse. Kids don't buy tickets. Parents do. Exactly. Children save the word for. Yeah, I hate that shit too. Oh, thank you, Ginger. I try. Feig's bitchy because he didn't make any money from the set. Digital copies are included in all deals, meaning he gets no royalties. That is probably what he's really pissed about because he wasn't any happier when they said digital copy. Eddie Murphy, thank you, Spudgun. I had Bill Murray in my head and I couldn't think of Eddie Murphy. Ugh. Yeah, Thor was in that, but he was the only decent actor in the whole thing. But the special effects level of the ghosts looked just like Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion. Like, just like it. And that movie was 10 years older. So he did this, but I was like, "What are you fucking retarded? Nobody cares about your shit movie, dude. Accept the L. You had a bad film. It happens. It happens to the best of them. Just accept it. And you're not even close to the best of them. You're Paul Feig. I mean, most people don't know who you are, and they saw your Ghostbusters movie, and they're like, "This isn't funny. This is sad and kind of lazy, and it's not interesting. It's not scary. It wasn't funny." And Bleeding Fool's 100% right. Truly embarrassing. Someone who could actually make a proper Ultimate Blu-ray set. Oh, they blocked this guy. Wow. That's harsh. Slash film. Grow up. Hilarity on social media ensued, and the trades had a field day, calling Sony's decision disappointing. Yeah, a bunch of lefties whining and moaning. Fucking suck it up. But the director continued ranting about the exclusion on Twitter. Now, as several people I have no doubt have pointed out, whenever they announce these big box sets, I mean, look how cool that looks. There's always bonus features that aren't revealed until the pre-order is up on Amazon. Then that's to entice you to buy it more. Like they get you with all the like, okay, you've got all three movies and you've got this other stuff like the behind the scenes stuff, but they always leave out a couple things in these early announcements so that they can sucker you into it more, because you're on the fence. You're like, it's $150. It's got all this cool stuff. It's got a souvenir thing. And then they're like, well, we're throwing in a digital download and this preview version and all this other stuff, this cool box set, so he probably jumped the gun. After Paul Feig effectively epitomized the man-baby persona, he once mocked critics of his 2016 film over the weekend. Sony slightly walked back their decision to exclude it and agreed to include a digital download only in the Ultimate Collection. There's a downgrade version of this that's like $50, and you don't get the digital download. Not like I'd use it anyway. I actually own it on DVD. Somebody gave it to me. So, but it's like in the $5 bin anyway. For longtime fans of the original Ghostbusters franchise, this box set appears to be the best home video release of the first two films yet. Not only does it come packaged in a box that resembles the trademark Ghost Trap, see picture, it's not above, it's below, along with special features that have accompanied the previous releases of the classic movie, but there are a bunch of brand new special features. We're not just talking footage that's never been seen before either, though there will be plenty of that. The box also includes a full 220-page reprint of the rare 1985 book Making Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection 4K Ultra HD set will feature Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, and Ghostbusters Afterlife on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray, plus 2 discs full of special features that include more than 20 hours of rare behind-the-scenes and archive footage from the set of the original 2 Ghostbusters films. The box set will also be presented in a collectible Ghost Trap packaging with lights that will be accompanied by a full 220-page reprint of the rare 1985 Making Ghostbusters book. It will also include an extended preview cut of the original 1984 film, a full-length documentary about the making of the supernatural comedy, and no less than 19 never-before-seen deleted scenes from Ghostbusters 2. That's a pretty good thing, especially because this thing lights up. I didn't know that. I guess I kind of glossed this part. Other special features being released as part of the box include commentary featuring director Ivan Reitman, star and co-writer Harold Ramis, both of whom are gone now, associate producer Joe Majuk, I don't know who that is, fan commentary moderated by Ghost Core's Eric Reich, and Slimer mode picture-in-picture track. Oh, that could be cool. It's also revealed the DVD version of Afterlife will feature a brand new featurette called Summoning the Spirit, Making Ghostbusters Afterlife, while the Blu-ray 4K Ultra HD and digital versions of the latest film will include that featurette as well as the following bonus materials. We got one Easter egg, Ghostbusters A Look Back, A Look Ahead. Oh, are they hinting at future movies? That'd be cool. Bringing Ecto 1 back to life, the Gearhead's Guide to Ghostbuster Gadgets, special effects, The Ghosts of Afterlife, deleted scene, Is It Ever Too Late? The Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection box set will arrive on February 1st, 2022 with the original Ghostbusters from 1984, the Ghostbusters 2 follow-up from 89, and this year's nostalgic revival, which will be available for individual purchase on the same day. The movie also debuts digitally on January 4th. So, in spite of Feig's minor incursion, which won't taint the physical collection in any respect, thankfully, this sounds like a must own for fans of the property. If only they included the Ghostbusters series. A lot of people don't know about this 1970s series, but they did a cartoon based on this back right around the time the real Ghostbusters was out, because the word Ghostbusters, they couldn't trademark that quite like you would think, because there was the book by Hans Holzer in the late 70s, and then this series was right around that same time, and it was a wacky show with a guy in a monkey suit. They did a cartoon version of it. I'm surprised this isn't more readily available. It's actually pretty hard to find these on DVD. That and there was a show that was all about monsters. It was something like the Monster Squad, but it was a wacky Sid and Marty Krofft type thing. Yeah, Retro, that's the name of the game. Same kids are just stupid want to see the bright lights and color sex jokes they could never see. Yeah, well, there's that. Only reason it KCW. Yeah, well, that Flash movie looks like shit, by the way. Every time I hear something new about it, I'm like, that sounds awful. Creepy tall guy from The Office was in it too. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think Melissa McCarthy is a vastly overrated actress. She has like a pratfall comedy. It's very limited comedy, and it's not funny most of the time. Spider-Man is proving that uh, the reason a lot of movies are failing is not because of the pandemic. That's why they get Ghostbusters called the real Ghostbusters. Yeah, they had to, because these guys made they made a cartoon based on this one. Although I think it would have been funnier if it was the Goat Busters. And they just went around hunting goats. I think that'd be funny. But if you ever get a chance to watch this, it will make you appreciate the 1984 movie so much more. Even if you didn't like that movie, which I love that movie. That's one of my favorites. This show is so fucking awful. It's very, very 70s, very wacky humor. But if you want to go for this box set, it's like $150. It does look pretty fucking cool, especially with the light up box, which I would probably break. So I will drop the link, but it's on Amazon now, available for pre-order. Like it said, it comes out in February. So let me. Oh, thank you, Keldrick and Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa. Says, saw someone comment on Nick Ricada's stream from the other night that the only thing they would have made Murray's action acceptable is if he'd used the name Matt Jarbo. It made me laugh. Right? That I think I'm starting to think that maybe one of Murphy's kids is Jarbo's. Because I mean, would you be surprised? I want. Sorry, I'm behind on these. Yeah, I don't do multitasking well. And thank you, Keldrick, for that feminist donation. Afterlife is a good movie, in my opinion. I think it did a good job of capturing the spirit of the originals. It didn't get too ridiculous about the kids saving the world thing. I don't think it's a must-see, but it's a good addition to the series. You know, that's a good point, because it doesn't have to be spectacular. It just has to be fun. And we are desperately in need of fun movies. And you really don't want to see the kids save the world stuff over and over again. That's kind of annoying, but it looked really good. I can barely see chat. It keeps kicking me out and off of Give Fibers. All good, and all the snow is messing with it. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, Ratty. That sucks. Now, I'm not saying I saw that Rakata stream because there's some inappropriate stuff in there. But if this link that shows up in your chat is to an unlisted video of some kind, I have no knowledge where it came from. I think we're all sick of hearing about him because everything that comes out's more and more degenerate, random, and it's just fucked up. I don't know what's going on, Godratty. You're showing up fine on my end, I think. I should have used Paul Rudd more. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, people have said that. Let's go over a couple of Kickstarters real quick. That looked really cool. This one is Sword of Justice, #1 from Volume 2. I reviewed the first issue. This is from Top Secret Press. And I've ordered a couple of books off their website, and they got here super fast. So they're real close to their goals. So if you're interested in some sword and sorcery stuff, it's pretty interesting. There's this like elites that live on a satellite up above that claim to be gods, and everything down below is this like medieval fantasy setting, and she comes down to kind of thwart the plans of the gods. But they're only about $1,400 away. The book's pretty cheap too. That's why, because it's digital's $5, regular edition's $5. United States, so $8 with shipping, which is pretty fucking cheap for a internet comic these days. But I like some of the art. I think it's got a lot of potential. Her face is a little fucked up in this one, but there's some pretty cool stuff in here. It's got a pretty interesting story. I've got issues 2 and 3 because it's only a 3-issue arc for the first volume. I haven't read them yet, but they look really good. So I wanted to share because they're really close and they were asking for help spreading the word. And since I've had good experiences with Top Secret Press, I thought I'd share. Oh, what this chat's talking about something interesting without me. This one thing about being a former chat member is I'm always like, what's going on in chat? I'm missing something. Then you get dead air while I'm reading chat. Oh, watch that stream last night? Yeah. Yeah, I was watching it before doing this. And yeah, there's some fucked up stuff in there. Yeah, you're not wrong, Tony. All the gods have the last name Bezos and Gates. Probably should. So yeah, I just want to spread the word a little bit on this one, try and help them out. And of course, there's the TSR lawsuit. They just refiled in Washington State, and they barely made a dent in their goal here. So they're going forward with the lawsuit against WOTC for effectively bullying them and trying to claim trademarks they no longer own. So, yeah, we'll go over this stuff on a separate stream. And let for those of you that don't want to read it, because it's kind of boring. Oops. Stupid buttons. All right, I fucked that up. But if you want to support them, I'll drop the link. It is in the description as well. And I think that Wizards of the Coast deserves to be sued for what they've been doing to these guys. Kind of okie, yeah, but it's well done. Because that Matt Damon movie was fucking stupid. Elysium. Ugh, he's so pretentious. All right, let's get back to the news. We might cover some drama at the end if I'm still pissed off. All right, so let's do some comic book news. This comes from Bleeding Cool. Marvel Comics is going to publish the entire Alan Moore Miracle Man in an omnibus. Not only is Marvel going to continue and conclude the Neil Gaiman, Matt Bruckheimer Miracle Man run in 2022 for the 40th anniversary of the revival in Warrior Magazine and integrate Miracle Man into the Marvel Universe in one form or another, probably with Donny Cates. But they're also going to collect the entire Alan Moore, Gary Lech, Alan Davis, Chuck Austin, Rick Veitch, and John Toltenben run in omnibus form. That's actually pretty huge news. This means the original Warrior Magazine stories, including the story from the Marvel Man Summer Special. They will also include additional scenes included in the Eclipse Miracle Man issues. That's where I know him from mostly. The Warp Smith story by Gary Leach from A1 Special, and possibly more controversial Joe Quesada's drawing of the early Grant Morrison rejected Marvel Man story from back in Warrior Magazine day. Miracle Man Omnibus, which will be published in September 2022, will contain Warrior Magazine 82, issues 1 through 18, 20 through 21, Miracle Man 1, 3, 6 through 16, Marvel Man Special number 1, A1 from 1989 number 1, All New Miracle Man Annual number 1. The Near Mint YouTube channel dropped the news as well as the covers by Gary Leach and Kevin Nolan. As with the previous Marvel printings of the series, it is likely Alan Moore's name will not be mentioned in or on the book or in the marketing or soliciting materials. So if you ever wanted to read these, this is the time to do it. It's going to be expensive. This face looks weird on this one. But it might be worth it. Now remember, this was... Alan Moore wanted to do a Captain Marvel book, but he couldn't get the rights to it. Because around that time is when DC bought the rights from Fawcett. So he did a knockoff Captain Marvel. And that was Miracle Man. Originally Marvel Man, then they changed it to Miracle Man. Book 1, Kimota with a magic word. The long-forgotten legend lives again. Freelance reporter Michael Morn always knew he was meant for something more. Now an unexpected series of events leads him to reclaim his destiny as Miracle Man. The groundbreaking graphic novel that heralded a literary revolution begins here in A Dream of Flying. After nearly 2 decades away, Miracle Man uncovers his origins and their connection to the British military Project Zarathustra, while his alter ego, Michael Moran, must reconcile his life as the lesser half of a god. So it's got books 1, 2, and 3. And it should be pretty cool. It's going to be expensive, though. It's probably going to be $125. But it's because it's an omnibus from Marvel. And they usually go from $100 for the thinner ones to up to $200. So I would recommend, if you're interested in this, order it as soon as you can from your comic shop, because it's going to get sold out. This is a very, very hard to find run of books, getting them all in total, especially the Warrior Magazine ones. And they're going to get snapped up by the old-timer fans. Can't help but like Donny Cates, but come up with some new characters that you own the IP for. Good luck with that, dude. Hey, Kyle. How you doing, man? Yeah, you better be getting better, Evil One. You're not allowed to get worse. So I thought that was pretty cool. Might be worth a look-see. All right, speaking of look-sees, let's look at some 40K stuff. There's going to be a new Warhammer 40K battle box. And like I said, I know some of you guys play 40K or did play 40K. So it's always nice to talk about cool stuff. Games Workshop previews next Warhammer 40K Battle Box, Eldritch Omens. Now, I played Eldar when I was playing 40K. I played Eldar and I played Death Angels. And I played a couple others occasionally because I had a whole bunch of armies because people just sell them to me dirt cheap when they didn't want to play anymore. They previewed Eldritch Omens, the next 40K Battle Box, which will release in 2022. The new Battle Box features a clash between the forces of the Ashuriani and the Heretic Astrades. It contains enough components to build 16 miniatures, many of which are entirely new sculpts for 40K. 9 of these miniatures are for the Asarari Ranger Army, and 5 are for the forces of chaos, which include a Forge Fiend demon machine. The set will also comes with a 32-page Eldritch Omens booklet that lays out the battle for Darth in the Nakmund sector. And they also have another one here incoming. Let's take a look at these pictures. I can tell right now if I tried to glue this together, my fingers would be stuck together within an hour. Although this looks really badass. So there's your Chaos guys. Wish I could paint like that because that's pretty fucking badass. There's some of your Eldar. These Rangers always look cool. They always make the Rangers look badass. Is that Exarch? Or Primarch? Whatever. Looks badass. I'm guessing Dire Avengers. That thing looks pretty fucking cool. There's your regular Rangers. These look like really old sculpts that used to be metal, but they're just similar. So yeah, there's your 2 forces. Looks pretty cool. That's probably going to be at least $100, probably 150. But if that's something you're interested in, could be cool. Dark Angels are the best for the lion. Oh yeah, I played Knife Ears. I was pretty good with them too, but I didn't win very often. But when I did, it was usually a pretty decent victory. But you guys are talking about that fucking video. Haunting. All right, and this other one, Old Foes bundle incoming. Sons of Ferris Madness and Sons of Fulgrim. Let's see. These 2 bundles let players relive the rivalry between the Iron Hands and the Emperor's Children. All right. The bundle comes with a Primus Lieutenant in Phobos armor, 10 Primus Infiltrators, 3 Suppressors, 3 Eliminators, a Primus Impulsor, an Iron Father Furios, an Ironclad Dreadnought, the Iron Hands, Primus upgrades and transfers. Bundle will retail for $263. Holy fucking shit! Sons of Fulgrim bundle is going to be $254. It includes Master of Possession, a Venom Crawler, 2 Obliterators, 2 Greater Possessed, 10 Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Lord, 10 Chaos Space Marines, Noise Marines upgrade pack, and a Hell Brute. Jeez. What a fucking ripoff. Those are all plastic, too. I mean, yeah, they look cool, but that's a lot of assembly, and I'm pretty lazy. That guy does look pretty cool, though. It's like Doc Ock went cyberpunk. Here's your arm pads and different heads and whatnots. Bits and bobs, as the Brits would say. That Dreadnought does look pretty awesome. When these were metal, they were way cooler because they were pretty heavy. There's your Chaos. I'd probably go with the old Noise Marines, personally. It was cool back in the 90s ones. The late 80s, early 90s. Noise Marines had like heavy metal guitars and looked real punk rock. This thing looks pretty dope. Yeah, there's your Dreadnought. That looks really cool, actually. I don't know. These prices are ridiculous. Yeah, I probably could just click that link, couldn't I? So if you're into 40K and want to drop an ass load of money, there you go. Does this frag smell like chloroform to you? All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, let's talk about Spider-Man. It's from Bounding into Comics. Marissa Tomei reveals she wanted to make Aunt May a homosexual in the Spider-Man franchise. I'm guessing her publicist probably put her up to this. Or she's that dumb. Actress Marissa Tomei recently claimed she pitched an idea to make Aunt May a homosexual in the Spider-Man franchise. Why not just make her a trap? Just go all out. Being gay is not enough anymore. Tomei's comments came during an interview with Geeks of Color, where she was asked about her character's relationship with Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan. Turns out they were just, talking sports. Speaking to that relationship on her on-screen dynamic with Favreau, Tomei stated, "He's so funny, his improv skills, it's just great to be able to work opposite him." She continued, "I really feel that their relationship is more off than on. I think they're friends, they get along, this true camaraderie, and they're both invested in Peter so much. But I think they're just stuck together. It's like being on a desert island, no one else to talk to, blah, blah, boring crap." She looks good for her age, too. Like, I'd probably hit that. And her eggs are all powder, so you don't need to worry about that. Tomei then revealed she pitched a homosexual Aunt May. At one point, this was even more an idea. This was before the idea of Happy showed up. There was a moment where I felt maybe she should just be with a woman because Ben is gone. And who should she be with? They never mention Uncle Ben in any of these movies, except for other people mentioning him because of the multiverse thing. But yeah, it totally smells that way, Jim. But like this Peter Parker never mentions Uncle Ben. And they kind of did Uncle Ben dirty in this one too. Yeah, this is total virtue signaling. Are we replacing kindly old women? Yes, Ori, because now you have to have messaging. That's the entire thing. Although I think this is 20 years too late. If they wanted to make Aunt May an old lesbian, they should have done it during Tobey Maguire's era. It would have been way edgier then. Now it'd just be kind of passé. So I actually really wanted Amy Pascal from Sony to be my girlfriend, she said. Tomei then described how she pitched the homosexual Aunt May. I was like, no one ever has to know, Amy. I'll just be in one scene and you'll be over there, and I'll be like, hey, it'll just be a subtle thing. No one went for it at the time. No one went for it because it's dumb. Oh, she wanted this. Oh, man. That dude must be really short. What was it, like 5'8" or something? Novelist and YouTuber, writer. Okay. Novelist, YouTuber, and writer John Delarose reacted to this revelation saying, well, everybody was just cheering that the Spider-Man No Way Home movie was safe. They weren't going to put any SJW stuff in it. It makes it great. Let's applaud. But I always have to remind you, these people, these actors, these cretins from Hollywood hate you. They hate your families. They hate everything that you love, and they want to destroy it with their SJW nonsense every single time. Stop giving money to people who hate you, he added. He's not wrong. They do hate you, and they don't respect anything that you care about, which they've shown several times over the years, recently, and in the past. I'd say the past decade. We could go that far back. Probably a little further than that. I would say Civil War is when this crap really started. Specifically addressing Tomei's desire to make Aunt May a homosexual, Delarose added, of all characters to do that, to have a traditional character like Aunt May being pushed in that direction is really a slap in the face to everybody trying to rewrite Spider-Man history just to stick a middle finger at you, the fan. And that's what it would have been perceived as. Absolutely. If you want to do that with a new character, fine. But this one has background. That's what these people do every single time. They have no respect for any of the creations before. They have no respect for any of these, the way these characters were. They just want to subvert and destroy everything they touch every single time. Yeah, absolutely. And that's because they have to destroy the past by recreating it, and you have to accept the new one. And to get rid of kindly old Aunt May and hardworking blue-collar Uncle Ben, they get to destroy that traditional family structure dynamic of what are probably his great aunt and uncle based on their ages, that adopt this kid whose parents are dead. His shoulders look really fucked up here. It's exactly what you would expect from Hollywood. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do this. I don't believe she actually tried this. I think this is some publicity crap to show how woke she is. So something her publicist put her up to, but that still hit her. Call me Marissa. We'll have some naughty time. But yeah, I think that would have really hurt No Way Home. A lot of people saw this as a safe film, but it would have been a pretty big slap in the dick, more than what they did in the movie already is. I'd be okay with it if we get a full XXX lesbian scene. No, you won't want it because it would be hey fucktard. It would be gross chick and Marissa Tomei, and it would be all wrinkles and folds. Probably be a fat chick you didn't want to see naked, you know. Yeah, Tony, I'm tired of origin stories too. If you can't do it before the end of the opening credits, it doesn't need to be done. That's just the way it is with these origins. There's no superhero origin that's that complicated that you can't sum it up in 5 minutes. It's just not needed. These are not complicated backgrounds. You know, Peter got bit by a radioactive spider. You're seriously telling me you can't do that before the end of the opening credits? Fuck off. That's dumb. All right, we got kind of a lot of movie news going today. I got some role-playing news for later, but more entertainment type stuff this time. And this one strikes me as being really interesting, and I'm strangely wanting to see this now, even though I have something of a hate for Nicolas Cage. Yeah, random. The Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, they nailed it. They tied it up really fast, and it was done just like the old TV show. I really, really like that. Nicolas Cage's Dracula will be inspired by Malignant and Ringu. Renfield is the name of the movie. Star Nicolas Cage opens up how the supernatural horror films Malignant and Ringu will inspire his performance of Dracula. I cannot wait to see Nicolas Cage play Dracula. I don't know why. I don't think he's that good of an actor unless he's playing white trash. So that's why movies like Con Air worked, which is a shit movie, but it worked because he plays white trash. And Adaptation was an actual good movie. If you haven't seen Adaptation, I recommend it because you have to pay close attention to the dialogue at the beginning of the movie because it relates to how the movie wraps up. And it takes some fucked up turns. But it was a fun, surprisingly good movie. If I see Batman, we get Batman again, I'm going to go off Bruce, right? Somebody take care of the spammer, please. Doc Ock. Oh, thank you. It doesn't show up on my StreamYards page when you guys nail them, so thank you for that. Did he already play a vampire? Yes, he has played a vampire once or twice. Was it once? No, it wasn't Once Bitten. Was it Once Bitten? He was in a vampire like comedy film. Hey, Merle. But yeah, he's gonna play Dracula. Future Dracula, Nicolas Cage has confirmed that his performance in the upcoming Renfield will be inspired by. Yeah, I just said that. Back in November, Universal Studios announced that Cage will be donning Dracula's cape, with Nicholas Hoult claiming the title of the vampire's twisted associate, R.M. Renfield, directed by, Chris McKay, with a script by Ryan Ridley. Renfield is set to be the latest installment in Universal's Dark Universe franchise, a modern reboot of the original horror classics, with a shared Marvel-esque universe, and follows on from The Mummy and The Invisible Man. The problem with movies like The Mummy were that they tried to do epic things. Horror movies are best when they're small scale, when they affect a small group of people. That's why Dracula worked really well. That's why Wolfman worked really well. It's why Creature from the Black Lagoon worked really well. It's even why Ringu worked really well. It affected a tight group of people. And most horror movies are like that. If you ever saw Night of the Demons, where the kids break into the old funeral home and then are hunted by monsters and demons, that movie worked really well because of the situation involving only a small group of people. Once you get real epic and it involves like all of London, like that Mummy movie did, it gets kind of dippy. Once Bitten's Jim Carrey, yeah. The video of his costume test exists. Yes, and that costume is horrific, Oki. Incredible Hulk series filled with creepy music, right? I've been watching a lot of Kung Fu with my brother, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show from the 70s with David Carradine. Rewatch it sometime because it's got some really interesting stories and some really dark endings on a few of them. Like people die, and he's just like, well, time to move to the next town. Decent actor in his mind is budget passion projects. If he isn't feeling the film, he does suck though. Yeah, BG. And that's the problem is he has to really like the movie to do it. And he's not a bad actor, but that's why I don't like him. Because he does all these movies where he just half-asses it. And it shows because it makes him look like a shit actor. I got nothing against the guy personally, except he doesn't do projects that he's in love with. He does them for paychecks. And the ones he does where he's obviously is trying harder, like Raising Arizona, and even Ghost Rider, turn out not to be too bad at movies. He's not always the right casting for some of the movies he's in. But when he plays white trash, like Raising Arizona, really nails it. And adaptation, Stand By, is an actual good movie. Skipped a bit. However, Renfield's development has not always been so assured. After the less than ideal financial and critical response to The Mummy, which was trash, Universal seemingly abandoned the Dark Universe franchise altogether after just one film. But after Lee Whannell's The Invisible Man proved to be a remarkably successful reboot, I've heard this is a really good modern take on The Invisible Man. It's about a woman who's being stalked by her boyfriend, who everybody thinks is dead, but he's really invisible. The production company pulled a complete Frankenstein and resurrected the cinematic universe with Renfield, billed as next on the list. Thanks to this revival of interest, the cast has slowly been growing over the last few weeks with somebody I can't pronounce and Ben Schwartz also having been announced in the current undisclosed roles. Speaking on Variety's award circuit podcast, Cage talked at length about the upcoming film. There's a link here if you want to listen to that. He discussed the various portrayals of Dracula that have been part of his research for the film, from Bela Lugosi to Frank Langella and Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman did a great Dracula. I stand by that. I like that movie. It's very artsy and weird. Not as weird as The Cell, which is a very underrated film with Vince Vaughn and Vincent D'Onofrio and Jennifer Lopez. I don't think she gives any taco-flavored kisses in that one, but Vince Vaughn and Vincent D'Onofrio were great in that movie, and it's a very bizarre-looking film. But Gary Oldman's Bram Stoker's Dracula is a surprisingly fun film to me. He does have to pay bills, yeah. Oh, yeah, after his tax bills, he absolutely needs it. Yeah, Leaving Las Vegas. Again, he plays white trash. He was playing castles in Europe and Scotland for a while and losing tons of money on the deals. Yeah. Yeah, he's bad with money. He needs a financial advisor. Kevin Bacon, Invisible Man. Oh, yeah, Hollow Man. Yeah, that was actually not a bad movie. I was kind of surprised by that. All right, he said, what can I bring that will be different? And I'm thinking to focus really on the moment. You know, I saw Malignant, and I thought what she did with those movies, and even Ring You with Sadako Yamamura. I want to look at what we can explore with his movement and voice. Yeah, if he can pull off some sort of like the theme or feel of the Ring movies, because I didn't find those movies particularly scary. The American Ring was way, way creepier to me. But there's a certain look and feel to what they do with Sadako in those movies that really could work well for a vampire movie. I think they also need to go look at Nosferatu, because the lighting in that and some of the way the scenes are shot worked really good for vampire films, especially for a silent film. So if he's doing research like that, it could be pretty good portrayal. Hopefully this movie's good. Since its announcement, there have been extensive speculation on what precisely Cage will bring to the role of the famed Fanged Fiend. Stop. Especially given his penchant for campy, over-the-top performances. Now that he's opened up about how he's planning to approach arguably the most famous horror character of all time, eager audiences can start to visualize a vague sense of what to expect from the Academy Award winner. Based on his clear fascination with the freaky contortionist movements that are overwhelmingly present in both Malignant and Ringu, it may not be stretching too far to assume that Cage is looking to create one of the most gymnastic Draculas ever seen on the big screen. He's a little old for that, but they could do some really interesting special effects where he's like crawling up the wall and like turning his head around, that sort of thing. That could be kind of cool. And while Universal hasn't been open in providing much about Renfield's plot or where it fits into the wider dark universe, fans, at least for now, can be satisfied that they have a brief glimpse into Cage's mind and can better imagine what may be in store for the 124-year-old character. Cage's enthusiasm for the role is certainly palpable, and given that Renfield is an extremely violent comedy, he definitely appears to be an ideal fit for this kind of interpretation, which is likely to benefit from his typical larger-than-life characterization. I disagree. I think he should play this serious. Because if you play it goofy in a comedy, it doesn't always work. It becomes self-aware then, and you don't want that in a good comedy movie. They have to all be taking it seriously. However, whether Renfield's risk-taking approach to Bram Stoker's most famous novel proves to be well-founded or not, it can almost unquestionably be relied upon that Cage will provide cinema with one of the most memorable and unconventional portrayals of Dracula that is ever seen. Oh, I think that's getting carried away. There's plenty of good movies that have made some bizarre takes on Dracula. So, yeah, I think this could be really interesting, and I'm actually intrigued by it. So, even though I detest Nick Cage on multiple levels, he's on my top 3 of movies I don't want to watch if he's in it. Seems to be having fun. Zero Me Too's in Hollywood. That's good. Yeah, that's true. But he has had a lot of IRS problems. So, either way, it's not going to be boring. Yeah, that's true, BG. No, I haven't seen that evil one. I try and avoid Nick Cage, quite frankly, because most of the time he just doesn't seem like he wants to be there, or he doesn't take it seriously. Like I said, he's got a couple of good movies that I do enjoy, but not a whole lot of them. All right, let's talk about a comic shop falling apart. This is from Bleeding Cool. Honeymoon in Vegas. Stop. It looks funny. It could be. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem to take himself too seriously. A Hero's Legacy, comics and collectibles in dire need of assistance. That's a small comic book shop in Manchester, Connecticut that is currently financially challenged. That's a good way of saying broke. It's been a difficult time for many comic book stores, and many have turned to the bookstore fundraising charitable service, Bank. A Hero's Legacy is making a more direct appeal with GoFundMe saying, "Hi," so you're not getting anything out of this. "Hi there, we've been a comic book store here for over 40 plus years. 9 years ago, our fearless leader passed away. His name was Brian. It was in death. We have a name. His name is Brian Paulson." Oh, no. It was after his death that I had decided to open the store and name it A Hero's Legacy Comic Collectibles. Brian is the hero, and it's his legacy I'm trying to keep alive. As many of you may or may not have been aware, we've had many challenges with distributors. Distributors have been problems all over the board, everywhere. This is not unique, mostly due to the printing problem that's been going on and the COOF shutting Diamond down. Between this, the COOF, and the general downfall of the economy, we find that the store has been struggling. It has never been my style to ask for help. I'm usually the one that's looking to help others. Suck your own dick a little more there, buddy. Nor have I ever tried to chase people down to see if they can clean out their file. That's one of the problems comic shops have. It was definitely a problem at my comic shop. People would put stuff on their pull list, and not come in and get it. Some guys would just ghost you completely and never show up ever again. And 9 times out of 10, those back issues are worthless. You might get $1 out of them and you're still out money. I know I get that we all have gone through a lot. Trying to stay afloat so I can keep both Brian's, myself, and your dream alive. Don't drag me into this. I don't know you. You're not my manager. If you have any way of helping us, we are grateful. If you do not have any means, if you could just spread the word. It's been wonderful to service each and every one of you. You didn't service me. I don't remember getting pleasured by you. What are you, Cenk Uyghur? I have to put down deposits on my pull list? Holy shit. You're owed money, get it, right? So someone opened a comic shop to sell Brian's collection and thought they could keep it open. They also do some new release stuff, so I think they just bought the store and were like, I'm going to take this over and make it equally successful. And it's a lot more challenging than you think. Thanks for keeping on it, Keeverdam. Doing the Lord's work. They currently have raised $4,123 of a $15,000 goal with 77 donations. In a series of posts on social media, they detailed some of the struggles they've been dealing with and what they're planning to do. I'll give my thoughts on this when I'm done reading this, but $4,000 out of $15,000 goal, $15,000 might get you 2 months in a store this size. As many of you noticed today, we did not get our DC shipment this week. Time to come clean with all of you. We've been sorely affected by the COOF, the economic downturn, and the change in our hobby in regards to suppliers. There's some sleight of hand here. We have done our best to stay afloat, but unfortunately, we have come to our means end. Due to the way that Penguin runs their withdrawals, we have to put out money that was not earmarked to be spent until February, which we were told was not going to happen. And this is not the first time that the way they do business has cost us dearly. While we were in the process of changing course back to Diamond for our Marvel supply, we were a little too late and the financial cost was too much for us. That means we now have to find a way to recoup costs that we will not see a return on for quite some time. Well, that's what you get for buying a bunch of Marvel stuff, because it just sits there most of the time. The bottom line is that we have come up with at least $6,000 short in about 2 weeks, or we will not survive past the end of January. I'm very sad to report. That said, we are not done yet. We have never gone out without a fight, and we remember the immortal words of Uncle Ben. Our responsibility to you is that we are here, and we will do all we can to stay here. But we may need some help. After all, the Avengers, we're not just one person, but a team. Stop with the comic book analogies. It's a little bit tired and a little too Big Bang Theory. We are putting out a rally cry, and for those of you who remember cult 90s movies fondly, doing a Save the Empire type of extravaganza. So if you have things you want to donate or saleable items or services that you would like to offer at this time, burn chicka chicka bow wow wow wow, we are welcoming all ideas and support. The phrase 7-inch poop shoot comes to mind. Think artwork that you want to give a try to sell at the store, signing of books, or anything else you can think of. Just nothing that will raise any red flags. Yeah, God forbid the tax man find out about what you're up to. Also, we're going to be offering some very unique sales and discounts to help move inventory, get some great books in your hands, and help us get our goal met. We're starting with this doozy. Starting at opening on Wednesday. That's this coming Wednesday. Any non-sub pull new this week book from previous weeks. In other words, the new this week boards, but everything else on the new release rack will be at a reverse discount. You will get any of those books at 40% off. This is a fire sale. This is not a good sign. That way we still make 10%, but you get the benefits of our discount to read some great titles that you may not have time or funds to read before now. Sorry, folks, but we already counted on our baseline and our finances, so we cannot allow pulls to be included in this sale. Well, so what you're saying is don't pick up your books that you subbed for. Just grab them off the rack. This will go until close on Friday or until we run out of inventory on the racks. Before we sign off for the night, we want to take a moment to say a very heartfelt thank you to every single one of you who has supported us through the years. We would not have had the memories, community, or ability to be who we are without you. We love each and every one of you and hope to see you through this trying time and longer if it all works out well. Thank you all, and we hope you will continue, blah, 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 dick sucking. A lot of it comes down to the change between comic book publishers from distribution by Diamond Comics to Lunar and Penguin Random House. Does it, though? We'll talk about that. Truth be told, we have gone through a lot of changes with distribution, and we have no control over. Between their mistakes with shipping or billing makes it very hard for us small shops, especially when we work so hard to make sure we have exactly what our customers are asking for, or just meet the current demand. Really, there isn't much profit in this industry with new product. Generally, profit doesn't start until you take in collections or a store receives book donations. I'm an owner that believes in giving back to our community. It's comments like, "Thank you very much for keeping my childhood alive," that makes it more rewarding to me. That is how both Brian and myself always believed in. Thank you all once again. As well as appealing for donations, both financially and items that you'll be able to sell. First, we'd like to say thank you so much for all the donations we've received today so far. They'll be utilized and all will be appreciated. We have a raffle for an amazing prize donated by our very own Tony Marvel. It's an uncut sheet of the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces card set. It has a certificate of authenticity as well as the letter that came with it from the company. Used to be able to buy these big sheets of uncut cards, and they were fairly expensive, so not many of them are around. But the whales bought those. The people thought they'd be worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars and dumb shit like that. Raffle tickets will be $5 each. Just FYI, this item has been going between $125 and $200 on eBay. See, that's a big fall from grace. People thought they were going to retire on this stuff. So come grab some raffle tickets for it. All the money will obviously go toward helping the store out towards this goal. See pictures in the post so you can see what it looks like. This is an archive, so you can't really see the pictures. Also, we recently received a very nice collection of CGC books that Scott will be posting up on pictures tomorrow, and check those out. Their Facebook's linked here. Donations are taken here. Okay, now, I'm going to drop this link if anybody cares about this place, because I don't. You could throw together a lot box and like a loot box, like a friend of mine had been helping him. Yeah. See, there's a few of the problems I have with this. First of all, if you're that short on money, that's a sign of some bad business practices. Now, he said he let slip in here that he's given 40% off. They still make 10%. So their discount is 50% on the big two, which means he's ordering a fair amount of books. Now, quite likely, what I think is happening, he's not doing inventory control. He's not figuring out, okay, how many of these books am I selling? Okay, so you go through the rack and you say, okay, how many copies is Action Comics selling? I ordered 10. I've got this many on pull, so let's say 5 or 6. That's usually about what you get in a mid-sized store for a big title like Action Comics. And then you get 10 to 20% more depending if there's a special event going on. If there's no special event and it's middle of a story, you order 10% over what your subs are getting. So usually 2 copies. So if you're getting 8 copies held back, you get 1 or 2 for the shelf, and that's about it. With a store this size, they're probably getting double those numbers, but the example stands. A title like Fright Night just came out from American Mythology Comics. I'm going to be reviewing that one or recording that when I'm done with this. That's a minor comic, so you'll probably get a couple people pre-order it. You probably won't have any on the shelf. What a lot of stores do is the fear of missing out, and they order way too many copies of anything because they want to fill space, and they don't want to miss out on that next hot book. There's a couple of stores around me that do this, and they have tons and tons of books. The one guy literally has a warehouse that he stores stuff at in case a book gets hot. And if it doesn't get hot within 5 years, he puts it in the dollar bin. Just slowly. He'll take like 5 copies out of the warehouse of a dozen different titles and throw them in the dollar bin. But he keeps them back in case They do go up. No, the cat hasn't shown back up yet, unfortunately. Comic shops are going the same way as video shops, unfortunately, and it's usually due to bad money management. What was it? The Cameron saying, make an offer and whatever you see, right? Yeah. Another thing is, this looks like desperation. And a lot of times what you get are the parasitical shoppers who they know you're going to mark stuff down. Not necessarily that you're having a tough time, but back issues usually end up in the dollar bin after 5 or 6 months. And there are people that will just wait it out. When you put 40% off, you look desperate. And a lot of people will be like, if he's got them at 40% this week, they'll be 50% next week at his closing sale. Because you can order comic books online. You can go buy them off eBay. You can buy them off like Lone Star and a dozen other retailers. Or you could just download the digital file from some Russian site. I don't recommend that. You're going to get a virus. You get computer AIDS. And he's only making 10%. What he should have done is taken a bunch of stuff off the rack and put it in a bargain bin and put them at like 20% off. Or say there's a big sale this week. Everything is 20% off. The fact that he's screwing over his subscribers is a terrible, terrible mistake. If you wanted to really do this, he would say everything on the rack is 20% off that's not new this week. And everything in the pull boxes for the subscribers is 40% off. And have it like a little secret sale. Because he's screwing over his regulars and he is counting on their money to keep him running. Sorry, folks, but we counted on our baseline in our finances, so we cannot allow the sub pulls to be included in the sale. Your sub pulls are the people that are your biggest buyers most of the time. You don't want to fuck them over. Hey, Pete, how's it going? Doesn't order less than 50 of each. Yeah, that's exactly what I think these guys are doing, Jim. And if you have a big enough store, you can do that, but you are running a dangerous game with that. Because there's a lot of stuff you're going to get stuck with. Yeah, you might have a couple of winners in there, but you're going to have a ton of stinkers. And you really have to keep track of this stuff a little bit better. One of my favorite comic shop guys, probably my all-time favorite comic shop guy, he goes through and inventories his books every week. And he's got it all on computers. He's got a big database. And he goes through and measures how many he's selling. And if a book isn't selling, he will slash the numbers, usually in half. He'll still get stuff that like big events that look, because he tracks the industry. You have to know what events are coming up. And something's coming up, like the new Superman book that came out. He knew that was going to be big because it's a #1 and it's got the son of Superman. So he knew that he could sell that to the gay customers or the speculators. And then when #5 came out, he ordered a bunch of those because the gay customers would want those and shit like that. So whenever they do some event like that, or there's a special cover that he knows one of his whales will buy, he'll order enough to have that thing and then sell that variant cover off to them and recoup all the money for the other books and then mark those way down. Like he did that with Gunslinger Spawn and King Spawn too, I think. So he ordered 200 copies of those, sold them at $3 a piece. He's still making a profit because they were like $6 originally, but they were returnable. And he got the unique cover, sold that for $500, pocketed that money. It covered all the other books. Everything else was profit. Brilliant move. Everybody that wanted to try that book out could do it then because it was only $3. And he still made like 5 or 10% profit off of it. And made a killing off of that one book because it covered all the others. So it's pretty genius. But you have to think of ways like that. And the fact that you're asking for donations looks pathetic. Okay, you didn't. What did you try before this? Because he said he didn't get his DC books. Why not? Because he doesn't really talk about Lunar. He talks about Marvel fucking him over through Penguin. He didn't read his terms of service with Penguin very closely because they're supposed to withdraw the money when they ship the books. And if you'd read his contract closer, he's trying to make it say they pulled money that was earmarked to be spent until February. Well, you should have had enough money for a couple of months worth of business anyway. I don't think he's saving his money very well, but he's trying to blame Penguin for this, but he clearly didn't read his terms of service with them. And then he's switching back to Diamond for his Marvel books, but he's getting free shipping from Penguin and almost as good of a discount as he would have got through Diamond. And now Diamond's discount sucks ass and he'd be paying for shipping. So it's a mistake, I think, to do that. I think this is just money mismanagement. And the guy probably doesn't have a very good sense of how business is run. Now, he says in here that you generally don't make profit until you take in collections as a store or a store receives book donations. I have rarely ever seen a store take donations of comic books. That's very weird to me. So him asking for donations, I think, is a kind of a bad trust issue that I would have with that store. I'd be like, all right, that's kind of weird. You're asking me for free stuff when I'm your customer. You're supposed to be selling me stuff, trying to get me to come back. Taking in collections, back issues are your gold mine for finances because you could buy the books as low as 10 to 25 cents each. If you do it right, you can get a good collection at 3 cents a piece. With people that don't know what they have, and you want to rip them off, or it's just filler stuff like dollar books. That is a gold mine. Granted, that's how you're going to stay in business is back issues. Penguin probably told him piss off. Yeah, he's trying to get around the rules. So thank you, Retro. That's very, very generous, dude. Thanks so much. Wow. Thanks, man. You're awesome. You guys are awesome. You know that? But yeah, you don't want to rely that heavily on pushing old product. You need to have a little bit of a diversity. Yes, the way modern collections are going, the new stuff doesn't sell real well, which is why he should be doing severe inventory control. And then if somebody wants something that you don't have, you can order it in, and you can get it within a week. Some days you can get it in 2 days. But it sounds like they are on a very, very tight budget, and he probably overblew it. Now, if he's smart, he's got diversity like some Funko Pop stuff, maybe some manga if he knows about that. But I'm guessing he's over-ordering new stuff. And he's getting stuck with a lot of it from the sound of it because he's having to cut to 40%. And as far as these raffle things, I don't know. I don't like that idea because somebody's going to accuse you of cheating or playing favorites. It's nice that people are donating to him, but I think this is a problem of their own making. So I'm not going to donate. I understand if somebody does want to support him, and that's fine. I hate to see shops go out, but I have some severe reservations, and I would like to see a little bit more behind the scenes on this. Because I have too many questions about what's going on here. And I have a bad feeling this is mostly bad management, and it's just going to delay the inevitable. So if this guy doesn't get a financial advisor to help him, maybe pro bono or something, I think he's going to just run this into the ground a couple months later. Because 15 grand, he said he was $6,000 behind. He needs $6,000 in at least in about 2 weeks, or he will not survive past the end of January. So that leaves with what, $9,000? That'll cover February. This is only going to cover 2 months. The next immediate 2 months. So he has to really shift things around and relearn how to do his business if he wants to make it till spring. He's raised $4,000, and he'll probably get $2,000 in sales for quick, fast cash. But he's ultimately going to be losing money by discounting everything so heavily. This looks desperate, and it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. I fucking hate Funko Pops, Tony. I think they're creepy. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, they're ugly. They're nightmare fuel. I don't understand it. It's normie shit that brings in the pseudo hipster nerds, the fake nerds that watch Big Bang Theory, and a couple other people. Like, I know some people that are legitimately diehard nerds that love it. Most of the people I see buying them are fake geek girls and weird Big Bang Theory followers. Because those are the people that seem to buy it the most. Yeah, they had to delay the corner because of the holiday, as I recall. I think Frosted had something going on tonight. I don't, so here we are. So yeah, if you want to support these guys, that's up to you. I'm a little concerned about what I'm seeing here, and I don't think they're gonna. I think they're just gonna blow the money. They need somebody else to do their books. All right, let's talk about something that's kind of cool and I like, which is Call of Cthulhu. This comes from ICV2. Chaosium will release new printing of Call of Cthulhu 7th edition starter set, which is interesting because I just filmed an unboxing of the original starter set they did for 7E. It's got new cover art, which is pretty cool looking. Let's see if we can open that. Blow that up a little bit. It's kind of cool looking. You got this chick freaking out. I dig it. Oop, wrong button. That's better. Chaosium will release a new printing of Call of Cthulhu 7th edition starter set with new cover art by Lin Xiang. I don't know. Into retail in April of 2022. The original printing was released in 2018. Updated new info for art, new printing December 30th, whatever. This starter set contains everything that players need to start playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. The box comes with 3 books, 1 solo introductory mission. Yeah, they have solo adventures now, which is pretty cool. 1 starter set, rules set, and 1 of 3 adventures. One book with 3 adventures. The adventures featured in this starter set are Alone Against the Flames. That's an older one that's been around for a while. Paper Chase and Edge of Darkness and Dead Man's Stomp. It also has 5 ready-to-play investigator character sheets, blank character sheets, player handouts. Additionally, the box set includes a set of 6 polyhedral die. Now, spoiler alert for my upcoming video. Those dice are the fucking most basic thing I've ever seen. Like, I half expected to see a crayon in there to draw in the letters. So, I've got the box set right here. Let's see what adventures. Yeah, it's the same adventures. Paper Chase, yeah. So, it's the same adventures as the other box set. The solo adventure looked pretty well done. This is set for the 1920s, though. So if you want to play 1890s or modern or 1990s even, you're going to have to do a little bit of finagling with some of the skill sets. But I recommend getting the core rulebook anyway. It's like $60, and it's really nice. Really high quality. And this box set that I've got was really nice quality, too. And I got it for, I want to say $18 on Amazon on sale, but it was easily worth $25 for a starter set because you do get the dice and you get all the character sheets, and everything was really well done. I was pretty happy with it. So you get several adventures. It's enough to really get started. So if you're interested in this, there's the article. How I learned to love tentacle porn. Yeah, and lose my sanity at the same time. Hey, Camel. I'll have to catch that later. I'll have to find the archive of it. Because I'm tired of hearing about it, but at the same time, Medicare's take will be funny. Because the writers has no issue shitting on Lovecraft while profiting off what he built. Yeah, I don't blame you, Shady. You should get the Sandy Peterson Cthulhu book then, because Sandy Peterson has great respect for Lovecraft, and he did the cool Cthulhu Wars book, and he wrote the first couple editions of the Call of Cthulhu book Big Bang Theory's overrated. I agree. Happy New Year's, Neon. American bobbleheads. Yeah. Just listen on my phone. Oh, sorry, Keever. Holding off till I hear if it's shit. Yeah, so I am kind of intrigued by this box set. I think it probably be pretty good, but I'm not paying full price for it. I'm not paying $25. Especially because I've already got the rule books. But I might do an unboxing, then it's a tax write-off. All right, let's jump over to, let's talk about the Matrix for a minute. I found this article from a couple hours ago. I haven't read it yet, so we're in this together. Nice, Evil One. Glad you're feeling better, man. The Matrix Resurrections reveals the Red Pill's secret truth. Spoiler alerts, probably. Medicare's usually pretty funny, Circus. I try not to say his name too many times. He might show up. He's an internet god. He's not a real human being. Okay, so you've been all spoiler alerted. So if this terrible trash fire movie gets ruined for you, it's on you. One of the Matrix Resurrection's most interesting aspects is how it explores the iconic red pill versus blue pill scene from the first Matrix film. That scene where Morpheus offers Neo a choice that ultimately changes his life has entered into the cultural zeitgeist, inspiring memes, philosophical essays, and intense online discourse. No, it's mostly memes. The truth about the red pill is finally explained in the latest film, where the new breakout character Bugs dissects its meaning, and her answers definitely take fans through the looking glass and deeper down the rabbit hole. Don't go deep into rabbit holes, dude. That's disgusting. In the first film, Neo asks Morpheus for the truth about the Matrix. Morpheus responds, "You are a slave, Neo, like everyone else. You were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind." But to fully understand, Neo must experience this for himself firsthand. Morpheus offers him a choice between taking two pills. Swallowing a blue pill will allow him to continue believing whatever he wants, living a life of happy ignorance. But if Neo swallows the red pill, Morpheus promises to show him how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Balls deep is the answer. All I'm offering you is the truth, nothing more. This is among one of the most famous scenes in cinema. That's really reaching. Seeing as how The Matrix is really a knockoff of Dark City and Dreamscape, it's not that innovative, guys. It's really not. Those two movies did it long before. Well, Dark City's about a year older than Matrix, and Dreamscape was about 20 years. So it really borrows quite a bit from Dreamscape, if you ask me. Far superior movie with a Quaid in it, no less. People have interpreted it in numerous ways, including the awakening to the true all-consuming presence of capitalism. Oh noes! Becoming aware of crypto-fascism and understanding the trans experience. I don't get that one at all. It's also been co-opted by men's rights groups and later alt-right Yahtzees who believe taking the red pill represents becoming aware that women control the world and enforce oppressive gender roles. What? An interpretation that Matrix co-creator Lily Wachowski completely rejects. No, it's more like seeing through the bullshit. Stop misinterpreting memes. There's our blue-haired savior who has to save internet Jesus. The Matrix Resurrection's first scene culminates with Bugs meeting the new Morpheus, who is a program. Spoilers, blah, 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 blah. Here she says, honestly, when someone offered me these things, I went off on binary conceptions of the world and said there was no way I was swallowing some symbolic reduction of my life. And the woman with the pills laughed because I was missing the whole point. The choice is an illusion. You already know what you have to do. To this, Morpheus responds, the truth. Yeah, it's written worse than that through most of the movie. It's a fucking shit festival. The happy liar, the terrible truth. Exactly, Evolved. But they would have to retroactively change it. 13th Floor, yeah, exactly, no one. There were a lot of movies that did this sort of the world isn't what it seems theme. And the Matrix was not that revolutionary. The special effects were the big deal with the morphing effects and the bullet time. That was what it was really big on. Tried to watch the Matrix movie. Oh my God, I was waiting for the Wayland brothers to show. Yeah, the Wayland brothers showing up would have improved that movie. All that old hat when it came out. Yeah, exactly. Or a lot of other things had done this before, like shattering your concept of reality. Even Bad Dreams. If you've never seen Bad Dreams, that is a fucking weird movie. But it's about this chick who was in a cult. And it wasn't Rucker Hauer. It was a guy that looks like Rucker Hauer was in the film as the cult leader. And it's a really good movie, but it was all about shattering what is the boundaries of what is reality and what isn't. Even in A Mouth of Madness had a lot of this. And Jacob's Ladder. So it was not as groundbreaking to say that the world isn't exactly what it seems. Plus, the theory of the holographic universe has been around for a while too. But the Resurrection's trying to retcon the red pill into like, oh, you were going to take the Dayquil the whole time. The NyQuil was just if you want to stay asleep. I still don't understand why for this movie they didn't change it to something a little more acceptable, like put on this red hat if you'd like to. Oh wait, that wouldn't have worked. Yeah, I'm going to recycle that joke because it's funny every time. This is important for a long time. Fans have perceived this to be a choice between accepting the truth or staying ignorant. However, simple reductionist binaries fail to properly address the real issues that need to be explored, like gender. There is no single pill swallowing moment of change, no single choice. People who choose to act out of ignorance have already chosen this despite knowing better, while those like Neo and Morpheus who value the truth were pursuing it all along. That's, I think, also reductionist because there are a lot of people that will purposely ignore what's right in front of them just so they don't have to face the reality of that. And we all know people like that. They're like, nope, I didn't see that. I didn't see that Bigfoot. I don't know what you're talking about. You're high. This goes on with some babble. I just wanted to go off on that rant a little bit. Total Recall? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Total Recall is a very underrated movie these days. The lines of the movie are so cringe, it's like they're trying to make it funny and missed. Yeah, it was pseudo-intellectual masturbatory fantasies of hipsters. It was just hipster self-indulgence. Like, look how deep I am. Oh, I took a philosophy class in college. Philosophy 101, and look how deep and important I am. That's what it sounded like to me. Oh, money hole. All right. Oh, shit. It's reloading. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Talking about crap Funko Pops are reminding me basically in every better in every way version of the Japan called the Nendroids. They're mostly anime characters, but they've been branching out to Western comic characters. Are really cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Japan makes some really cool toys. Really cool toys. I've got a Thor figure from Japan. I'm going to do that as a Patreon unboxing one of these days when I find it. But it's in a little box. It's really cool looking. And thank you, Keldrig. Man, I just watched the first movie, enjoyed the cool action scenes, and stopped thinking about it when it was over. Yeah, it's not a movie that stuck with me. And the soundtrack was better in that one than the other ones. Everything fell apart in the second and third movies. Because to me, Matrix 1 was a C- movie. For its time, it was very good visually, but the second and third movie got so up their own ass that it was only topped by this new one. I can't believe this movie got fucking made. It was a sequel nobody asked for. It was so incredibly pretentious. And it was just this like, it was like filming yourself jerking it. Nobody wants to see that, dude. Rabbit holes and money holes? Red pill means different things depending on what social sphere you're into. Yeah, absolutely, Ori. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can hide them. Yeah, good job. You guys are doing great work. Yep. Thank you. Thank you to my wrench no state. Speaking of which, I probably will eventually have all of you wrenched. And they'll just come in and be like, what the shit's happening here? Daddy holes. Yeah. You've heard me use that one before, right? Because there's a story there. It's wildly inappropriate, but yeah, there's a story behind the phrase daddy hole. Involving an ex-girlfriend of mine. Happy New Year, Super R99. Moderator here, team, assemble. Lady Gardens, yeah. Daddy holes and lady gardens. That's what women are made of. Oh, I'm sorry. Then you only have a wrench in the works, right? Story is funny and disturbing. It is. It is very funny and disturbing. You should have been there to see my reaction because I hear it's legendary. All right. Let me grab another drink out of the refrigerator here. I'm getting all caffeinated. This is my third caffeine for the day. So I'm going to be all wired. I've been up since like 5 a.m., 5:30. I did take like a little nap in there somewhere. I got like 30 minutes when I was hanging out with my brother's dog. I love that dog. He's so adorable. Yeah, I saw somebody mention Ricada's stream. Now, I know he unlisted it, but there's links floating around and, you know, things happen. Be able to be on a guest on a stream soon. I don't know, dude. My schedule's all kinds of screwed up. Maybe. I don't want to commit to anything that I'm not going to be able to follow through on. Sorry. I just can't make promises like that right now. Sorry, dude. But otherwise, yeah, I'll be glad to hang out with you sometime, but I just can't promise anything right now. I got kind of a lot going on in my personal life that is really not that good. And it's taking up a lot of time. All right, let's go over to CBR. Bill Murray's Ant-Man 3 role brings an obscure Hulk character to the MCU. A new rumor suggests Bill Murray's small part in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is connected to a key piece of Incredible Hulk lore. A rumor picked up by the Illuminati, great name, suggests Murray will play an obscure green-skinned alien named Krylar in Quantumania. In the comics, Krylar is a Catanian from the planet Kai, which exists within the microverse. Now, remember, the microverse was mentioned in the second Ant-Man movie. He got a glimpse of it in the first one near the end. But the microverse was also home to the Micronauts originally. And Kang ruled there for a little while in the comics as well. So the microverse has been around off and on for 30, 40 years. Krylar's only appearance came in Incredible Hulk number 156, where he aided the Hulk in his battle against the doppelganger Hulk. Unfortunately, Krylar was killed for his actions by Visus, a member of the royal family who was trying to dethrone Princess Jarella, the rightful ruler of Kai, and the Hulk's loving partner. Though this rumored role suggests Murray's stint in the Marvel Cinematic Universe may be brief, it could have big implications for Quantumania's plot. I don't know, he could hang around for a bit. In the MCU, the microverse is known as the Quantum Realm, which is a dimension that exists in the space between atoms and is only accessible by shrinking down to subatomic size. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, Paul Rudd's Scott Lang traveled to the Quantum Realm to retrieve Michelle Pfeffier's Janet Van Dyne. That's how her name is pronounced. Don't correct me. Who was trapped there when her daughter Hope was a child. This journey helped Ant-Man increase the scale of his size-changing abilities, becoming the first person to travel between realms with ease. News that Murray would be joining the MCU for Quantumania surfaced in October, though neither Murray nor Rudd have officially commented on the casting. In fact, both have played incredibly coy. What? No. Maybe they're going to play Ghostbusters. With Rudd even suggesting that there have been some confusion stemming from both actors appearing in Ghostbusters Afterlife. For Murray's part, he said he joined a Marvel movie from the director of Bring It On, which is Peyton Reed, who also directs the Ant-Man films. The first Bring It On is a fucking classic, which stars Kirsten Dunst, who was in the Spider-Man films. It all circles around. It's a circle. With or without Murray, Quantumania looks to have a star-studded cast. In addition to Rudd and Pfeiffer's return, the film will feature Evangeline Lilly, as Hope Van Dyne, Wasp, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang, and Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, reprising the role after an appearance in Loki Season 1. Rumors also suggest a familiar face could return to the MCU, this time as MODOK. Oh, somebody's coming as MODOK? Did I miss this line when I first read this? It doesn't say if Michelle Pfeiffer's going to be in this, but I bet she is. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Bill Murray's a great actor. 2006 movie was racist and retarded, though. And Elijah Dushku. Oh, it's been brought in. I like that movie. I don't know why. It's so dumb. Kirsten Dunst's best movie was oh shit, what's the name of it? Oh fuck, I'm gonna have to look it up now. My mind totally went blank. How old is she? She's getting kind of on in the years because she's not looking that good anymore. She's not aging well. She's only 39. Jesus Christ, she looks terrible. But she was really hot for a while there. In the first Spider-Man movie, I don't know, a couple of these pictures don't look too bad. She's one of those people from angles, doesn't look real good. And I know a lot of people don't like Kirsten Dunst for whatever reason, but she's been in some pretty fun films. I liked her in the Spider-Man films. I thought she did fine. And a lot of the other stuff she's done. She was on Touched by an Angel. That's creepy. Yeah, she was in that movie version of The Siege at Ruby Ridge, which was actually a pretty good TV movie. And she was on Next Generation. All right, we are on oh my god content moment. Just bear with me. The fuck was the name of that movie? Drop Dead Gorgeous. If you haven't seen Drop Dead Gorgeous, it is one of the best pseudo-documentary films ever. It's got Will Sasso, Kirsten Dunst, and a bunch of other recognizable people. Kirstie Alley's in it. Will Sasso's hilarious in that movie. But it's about this documentary crew filming the pageant contestants in this beauty contest. And one by one, they're all getting killed off. It is a very underrated film. So also had Rihanna. I try not to think about Rihanna very much. Small Soldiers was a good movie too. Virgin Suicides, I know I've seen it. I don't remember it. I read the book in college, had to. Bring It On, All or Nothing with Hayden Panettiere and Solange Knowles. I know I've seen that one, but that one wasn't as good as the original. Drop Dead is a fantastic. Yeah, that film is fucking awesome. It's absolutely her best movie too, because of the crazy stuff. But I would put Bring It On pretty high up there too. So, Ant-Man 3 turns an established MCU villain into MODOK. Okay. According to GWW, Corey Stoll, who will not only come back in the third Ant-Man film, but the former Yellow Jacket, will transform into the MCU's MODOK. Stoll was the villain in the first Ant-Man, with the finale seeing him shrink down to the quantum realm. Fans have long wondered if he could return. Yeah, he might be in this new movie. I think it'd be kind of a waste to just recycle somebody as a villain like that when they could get somebody like more fucked up to play MODOK. But if the rumor's true, it seems Darren Cross's time in the quantum realm will transform him into the live-action MODOK, a villain long rumored to arrive in the MCU. MODOK, to me, I always saw him in Captain America books, so it'd be kind of weird to have him as an Ant-Man villain, but it could be interesting. I'll drop that link in too. First more adult film. Yeah, Small Soldiers is an underrated film. I mean, how often do you see tiny little action figures go crazy? The other Small Soldiers with Samwise, whatever his name is from Goonies. That was a great film, even though it had Wesley Crusher in it and Letty Briscoe from Law and Order. That had a lot of recognizable people in it too. And the bad guy was a guy that made like the circuit. He always played bad guys. So that was a fun film, though. You guys are getting me started on movies again. All right, you remember how they changed the Punisher logo? Well, I got a couple articles about that. Because I was bitching about it. Oh, thank you, Keldrick. I've known video game NPCs less repetitive than the first paragraph of news articles. That's a fact. Thank you. Toy Soldiers. Yeah, thank you, Faithless. Ron Perlman plays MODOK. He's got the face for it. He's got the forehead for it, too. Reese Witherspoon kicked off, but not Kirsten. I don't like Reese Witherspoon. She seems sleazy to me for some reason. Yeah, Toy Soldiers and Small Soldiers, I always get those mixed up. But Toy Soldiers was an excellent film. Small Soldiers was excellent in a different way. Because Small Soldiers is more aimed at younger audiences, but it's accessible by older audiences too. So you might like that one because it's a fun adventure film. And Toy Soldiers was the one at the school. And that was a fun film too. I thought that was really underrated. Yeah, sorry about that. The caffeine's getting to me. I'm all jittery and shit. From Bounding into Comics, prolific Punisher writer Carl Potts explains the core of the Punisher's character and why fans are attracted to his stories. Prolific Punisher writer Carl Potts, who helmed the Punisher War Journal back in the late 80s, explained just who the Punisher is and why fans are attracted to his stories. It's power fantasy. Potts explained the essence. I like how they use a book that he didn't write, like Circle of Blood, written by Alan Grant or Stephen Grant, one of the two, and Mike Zeck. Dude, you can at least find one of his issues and put it there. Potts explained the essence of the Punisher during the introduction to Stephen Grant, Mike Zeck, and Mike Wahlberg's 4-issue The Punisher Run collected as Circle of Blood. He wrote the intro. He didn't write the book. Come on, that's lazy. He also wrote the introduction back in 1988 and began it by saying, over the last several years, the Punisher has become one of Marvel's most popular characters. Why is this? Just what is it the readers are getting from or identifying with here? The fact that he's a badass and he kills criminals? From there, Potts goes on to answer the questions, referencing popular films at the time like Lethal Weapon and Rambo, as well as Frank Castle's backstory and his origin as the Punisher. Following a brief description of his origin as the Punisher, Potts really delved into the core of the character writing. With both his family and ideals killed, there were no longer any restraints on Castle's actions oriented in violent nature. This, combined with Castle's strong revenge motive, gave birth to the Punisher. Obviously, he's a man obsessed. It would be one thing for him to avenge his family by killing those directly responsible for their deaths, but why does he go after all criminals? Because they're terrorizing other people, and he knows he can do something about it. He feels guilty for not being able to protect his own family. He not only needs to avenge them, but he needs to be the Punisher for failing them. Answered his own question. He went on to elaborate. He punishes himself by constantly putting himself into dangerous situations when he takes on criminals. This way, he cannot lose. Either he wins and kills more of the types who killed his family, or he gets killed, pays the penalty for failing to protect his own. It's an odd death wish. That's supposed to be wish. Yeah, like Kersey and Death Wish. A lot of movies from the 70s influenced the Punisher as we know him when he was good, not this new pussy version. But you had like Dirty Harry, Death Wish, you had Lethal Weapon. All those things really played an influence on the character, but especially the 70s revenge films. This obsession also denies him any real life or relationships. This is also a punishment. Go ahead, do it. I don't have all day. I love Frank. He's so badass. From there, Potts discussed why readers and fans are so attracted to Punisher's stories. He explained there are several universal themes of guilt and responsibility for readers to identify with here. Also, most people have at the same time found themselves obsessed or close to it by mission or dogma that the light of reason could not conquer. He further opined maybe the aspects some people are attracted to in the Punisher stories is poetic justice, seeing criminals who cannot be collared by 2 or 3 branches of our government get what's coming to them and is pleasurable. Yeah, we might wish that this happened more often in the real world. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't happen more in the real world. Hopefully, at the same time, we all realize that in reality, the Punisher's type of justice would probably lead to chaos. However, we can enjoy the cathartic effect the fiction brings us. Yeah, like shooting bad guys in video games. In an interview with Marvel.com back in January 2019, Potts would provide more details about his vision for the Punisher, revealing he attempted to quash a number of stories that only provided a surface-level look at the Punisher. He stated, when the character got popular, many editors and writers wanted to guest star the Punisher in their titles. Some of them saw only the character's surface, a very serious man with a lot of weaponry who shot criminals. Yeah, that was a little lacking nuance. This surface-level view led some writers to come up with plots where Castle goes after any lawbreaker, including jaywalkers and litterbugs. That's lazy writing. One writer had the Punisher enjoying bear hunting along with a gun club, using a torture chamber in his warehouse and other things that were quite out of line with my view of the character. Potts then asserted, I did my best to make sure most of these tales did not see the light of day. It's probably better that way. They would have watered it down quite a bit. He would also reiterate his view of the Punisher as not only punishing criminals, but also punishing himself. The title of the series could just as easily have been called The Punished and refer to Frank Castle as well as his targets. Potts went on to detail Castle's psyche following the mob hit. Castle feels tremendous guilt over failing to protect his family from the mob rubout. He suffers even more guilt from having survived when his family did not. Yeah, survivor's guilt is a real thing, and that nuance is really lost on modern writers especially. The writer and editor then explained the types of criminals the Punisher goes after and why. Consciously, Castle goes after violent criminals who, for whatever reason, are beyond the reach of law enforcement. He does so in order to prevent the criminals from causing the same type of tragedies that took the lives of his innocent family. On a more subconscious level, Castle attacks violent criminals in the hopes that he will eventually be maimed and or killed, thus paying the price he should have paid for failing to protect his family. This is why his war on violent criminals extends far beyond bringing his brand of justice to those who are immediately responsible for the deaths of his family. The prolific Punisher writer would also elaborate on his view of why the Punisher doesn't have a real life or relationship, saying anyone Castle gets close to is usually not long for this world. He added their association with the Punisher, his violent life, and numerous enemies mean they will eventually meet with a tragic end. He then touched on Castle's emotional response to his war on these violent criminals. Castle gets no sense of satisfaction when a successful mission is completed. His mission will not be completed until he is dead. Often the Punisher's missions do not resolve long-term problems with violent criminals. Instead, they create or perpetuate ongoing cycles of violence, revenge, and death. Kill a bad guy and his or her associates or family will take over and hunt the Punisher for revenge, which again gives him an excuse to go kill them. He then summarized his views on the characters. As the Punisher, part of Castle's motivation for attacking violent criminals is his death wish for failing to save his family. As the Punisher, part of Castle's motivation for attacking violent criminals is his death wish for failing to save his family. I don't know why that sentence is in there twice, but here we are. Both aspects of his motivation help keep him from thinking too deeply about his loss and guilt. So his mission is part of his coping mechanism. This is actually pretty good, accurate insight into what the Punisher has historically been. Potts would then reiterate his closing thoughts for Punisher Circle of Blood introduction. Frank Castle's story is a cautionary tale of what happens when vigilantes take the law into their own hands. He explained, we thrilled to his exploits and get cathartic enjoyment seeing extremely bad people who are beyond the reach of the law get what's coming to them. However, in real life, Punisher-style vigilantism would create chaos, perpetuate ongoing cycles of violence, and cause injury and death to many innocent bystanders. That's probably accurate. He concluded his interview with Marvel saying, stating, different creators and editors have their own take on the character. Whatever their take, as long as the stories are exciting, innovative, have strong internal logic, are cathartic, and make it clear the Punisher's path is not something to be emulated, the character should be able to maintain his popularity for the long haul. And that's where modern Marvel is failing. Because they don't understand the character in this way. They don't understand that he is effectively going out and punishing everyone. Hey, Hazmat. Yeah, Kiefer, that's the answer you'll get from dum-dums. Just got home. It's nice to see you're live. Looks like I'll have to catch the replay. Oh, yeah, sorry. Also, I've been really bad about this. Hit the like button, share if you're enjoying the stream, and subscribe if you haven't already, if you like what you're seeing. If you'd like to support me, there's the link. And I want to thank everybody for coming out, and thank you to all of you who have supported already. It's greatly appreciated. So that's the first story. And I was like, all right, this is interesting. This guy's a longtime Punisher writer. I think he understands the character from the way they were doing it. And then we get on to modern Frank Castle. And you're probably guessing where this is going if you've been around the social justice warriors long enough. We're going over to Bleeding Fool because Avi Green is a new piece that looked pretty interesting. And that is SJW's accused Marvel of cultural appropriation over Punisher's new logo. Yeah, that stupid logo that has this weird wing thing that's way too big. Yeah. Like, you can't have this because law enforcement and the military put it on their equipment, but you can't have this either because it's cultural appropriation. They're probably going to kill off the Punisher anyway, so I don't understand what they're bitching about. But they just like to complain. Cast as a vigilante, avenging angel. Yeah. Yeah, they don't know if they're going home. Exactly. Thanks for dropping the link, Sherry. Yeah, Frank Castle continues to undergo pointless reworkings via PC advocates, as reported on Yahoo. We went over the article the other day, and it doesn't seem to be going over well with the crowd that Marvel must have assumed would like this. But first, let's ponder what Jason Aaron has in store. This is probably going to piss me off. So I haven't read this article yet. I kind of skimmed it. The Punisher has always been one of the more extreme characters in the Marvel Comics pantheon. Now the gun-toting vigilante is getting an extreme makeover. He's getting a pedicure, too. In the upcoming 13-issue Prestige series, Punisher, set to hit comic book shelves in March, Frank Castle trades the skull symbol that has been part of the character's costume since his 1974 debut in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man, and has also adorned his appearances in other media, including 2-season Netflix series starring John Bergenthal. The first images from Punisher, which is written by Jason Aaron with art by Jesus Sayas and Paul Aceteta, revealed a redesigned skull, which now supports horns and sharpened teeth to reflect his new role as a member of the Hand, a shadowy league of assassins. Some would say a league of shadowy league of assassins. Yeah, some would say that's a kind of a Batman knockoff. This story is the destined next step in the dark and tragic evolution of Frank Castle, from troubled kid to heroic soldier to revenge-driven vigilante to the duly anointed king of killers, Aaron remarks in a press release obtained by Yahoo Entertainment. Believe me when I say I am as excited about this story as anything I've written for Marvel. And if it's anything like Girl Thor or Stupid She-Hulk, Planet Hulk storyline, it'll be crap. 13 issues. I think they're going to kill him. I really do. So now Frank's joining a group of crooks. Notice how it doesn't clearly state whether Frank's going undercover. That's exactly how fans could feel annoyed at their direction through Aaron, who's proven quite a social justice caterer, recalling the time he replaced Thor with Jane Foster, using the exact same name for the gender-swapped role. Yet, as Breitbart notes, Marvel Comics is under fire for revamping its popular Punisher character by not only making him the leader of an Asian assassin group, but redesigning his iconic logo, a move some fans have blasted as cultural appropriation. In the limited series written by Jason Aaron, blah, 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 Frank Castle will travel down his most violent road yet to become the leader of the Japan-based assassin group The Hand, a villainous group that originated in 1981 in the Daredevil comics. Some fans praise the new design. For others, it smacks of a white character appropriating Japanese culture. And the symbol's white too, guys. Look at that. That's colonialist right there. Cultural appropriation. And they provided several examples some leftist sites aren't. However, I'm very annoyed how they say these are Marvel fans slamming the changes, because I honestly doubt all of them are, and they certainly aren't into the hobby for non-political reasons. Complex also brought this up and opportunistically attacked right-wingers with the news. As for reimagining the logo, the Punisher's new design was met with some pushback from comic book fans. Some right-wing extremist groups like the Proud Boys have co-opted the iconic skull for a while now. I don't think I've ever seen the Proud Boys use the symbol. I know a lot of military guys do, though. Many comic fans knew that Frank Castle's iconography would eventually be changed, but some are upset at Marvel's choice with the replacement. Yeah, it's a big mistake. I think they're going to really regret this, because nobody's going to read this trash. Yet the examples they provide are nothing about cultural appropriation, and besides, did they even ask whether Japanese have any issue with this? The Japanese don't care. I remember once reading about an Australian woman who trained to become a geisha in Japan, and for the most part she succeeded. Any controversy within the country stemmed more from how they felt she wasn't fully sticking to the rules they believed in, and also because it's ludicrous to commercialize the concept or to commoditize it. Yep. If the Japanese have no problem with foreign women wanting to practice local customs like those, then nobody should have an issue with Frank Castle wearing a symbol similar to anything Japan's developed. Does this also mean Stan Lee's guilty of appropriation by making Daredevil a martial artist? Yeah, obviously. Easily the most notable of Marvel's martial artists in the Silver Age. Why do these opponents of alleged cultural appropriation also believe Elektra symbolizes appropriation? Because she originally took the job of a assassin. It's not difficult to guess the attacks on Aaron and Sayez's work. Reworking of the Punisher logo stem from opportunism to attack anything they see fit, with no consistency abound in how they write up their pointless slams. Yeah, well, they'll eat their own in a second if it gains them 10 seconds of internet PP touches and backpats. And the way Complex used the subject as an excuse to attack right-wingers was decidedly uncalled for. Yet that's the tunnel these leftists are going down today. The area mention of left-wing extremists like Antifa and BLM. They don't seem to particularly disappointed with the Punisher being made into a leader of a criminal gang either. Well, you have moral relativism saying that you could be a good guy and a bad guy at the same time. And you flop between either. They do that all the time in comics now. It's all relative. No clear mention whether this is supposed to be an undercover justice job, but that's modern Marvel for you, alas. True, they have very inconsistent standards. Anyway, this does look like a sign Marvel's going the PC route with the Punisher, as was bound to happen sooner or later. It's enough to make one feel it's a shame these characters have been held hostage, the way real serial fiction's been produced in the US, without any consideration for why it might be better to change the format to something more self-contained, and why it might even be a good idea to give the characters a rest for a change and not have them suffer the political abuse all the time, none of which interests the mainstream media, who couldn't care less if it failed in the end. Exactly. They'll get their articles out of it either way. No matter what you do, you can't win with these people. They should just left the Death Skull alone. So I think it's a dumb move, and obviously they're going to piss off everybody with this. And it looks stupid is really the main problem. Where the hell is my mouse at? Why is it over there? All right, there we go. I'm bummed about Lord Fliffington hanging out with his new lady friend. I hope so. I don't know. Every day that passes is less likely he's coming home. So, yeah, I think that this is going to just end up being a very disappointing, boring story. It's going to take them forever to tell the story, and it's going to be dumb. But let's talk about something I do like. one of my favorite characters from my childhood, Ultraman. Suburio Productions CEO vows to grow Ultraman fan base without making changes for Western audiences. In order to compete on the world stage, we need to make use of Japan's identity. Fact. There's the original Ultraman, the best one. All these other, and not as cool Ultraman. Where's Ultra 7? Anyway. With the company's Ultraman franchise slowly beginning to make its proper debut in the wider world, following the years of licensing troubles, Suburio Productions CEO Takayuki Sukagoshi has vowed to grow the Heroes fan base without making changes to its sense of self for Western audiences, asserting that in order to compete on the world stage, we need to make use of Japan's identity and Japaneseness as a strong point in our stories. He outlined his vision for the future of Ultraman during an interview with Yahoo Japan, published on December 27th. Asked by site editor Yasuyuki Taki if the franchise would be entering a new era of Ultraman that's different from the past, What's-His-Face replied, "We are developing a different type of Ultraman. What will change is not the shape or form of Ultraman, but the content and nature of the work. It's possible to create a work that has a message that is easy for children to understand and a universal work that will move and satisfy adults," he continued, according to a machine translation of the interview. "That's what I'd like to create with Ultraman. However, the details will be announced a little later. In the meantime, we will continue to produce works other than Ultraman. The future for Suburia Productions is to use new technologies to create new original works." This is Ultraman Trigger. He's one of the newer ones. Generation Tiga, episode 5. They are putting a lot of this stuff on YouTube. Ultraman's got his own official channel. Previously, in a situation not unlike that which formerly plagued the Macross series, Ultraman's licensing rights were at the center of his ownership dispute between Suburia Productions, who created and produced the franchise, and Chayo Productions, a Thailand-based studio which had helped the former produce the Ultraman movie, The Six Ultra Brothers versus the Monster Army, as well as the unrelated Satsuhiro film Jumborg Ace and Giant. Sweet. In 1976, Chayo Productions founder and president Sampote something claimed that prior to his death, Noboru Suburia, son of the late Ultraman creator and Godzilla co-creator Aija Suburia, gave him the full rights to the Ultraman franchise outside of Japan in exchange for a financial loan. Those Suburia Productions maintained that this document, which contained a number of errors, including the misnaming of each series under contention, was a forgery. The apparent fixation of Noboru's personal seal to the contract led to both Japanese and Thai courts to legally recognize Sandochi's claim to the series. Ultraman versus Kamen Rider, 1993. Ultraman wins, hands down. However, in 2006, Suburia Productions mounted a new legal claim against Shoei Productions, suing the latter for copyright infringement and plagiarism over their creation of original Ultraman characters. Eventually, following a series of ever-escalating appeals and countersuits, Suburia Productions was awarded full rights to the series in 2019, ruling which allowed the company to begin properly licensing and releasing their works outside of their home country, which is why we finally got complete series releases on DVD and Blu-ray. And they're super cheap, too. They're like $20 for the whole series for like the original Ultraman, Ultraman Ace, Ultraman Tiga, Return of Ultraman, which is Ultraman Jack, and a bunch of others. Eventually, Tsukayushi moved to explain his production's philosophy towards expanding Ultraman's presence on a global scale, particularly in Western markets, telling Taki, "I have been thinking about the content of films, whether it's an action blockbuster about heroes or a general drama. It's based on personal conflict and growth. On the other hand, Japanese and Asian films have different ideas and concepts. One of them is the way we relate to nature, community, and society. In other words, the idea of coexistence. We Japanese are a country blessed with nature, surrounded by the sea and mountains, and we have grown up working together in this environment. You're on an island, you have to. This is the message that characterizes our work. Recognizing that there are a number of cultural standards in the West, especially in Hollywood, Tokugashi then told Taki that rather than change Ultraman in an attempt to garner more mass appeal, he believed that there was a chance for our unique works to be accepted around the world, even in the form of collaboration with Hollywood. The CEO then adamantly declared, from a Western perspective, most of the world's most popular Japanese characters are already being made into films by Hollywood major studios and global media groups. However, Ultraman is not one of them. This looks kind of bad, actually, this one. Ultraman may be the last big IP left in Japan, affirmed Tokugashi. I've said that dude's name like 15 different ways. We have received many offers from overseas companies, but if we do the same thing in Hollywood when we go out into the world, Ultraman will be buried among the many hero characters. In order to compete on the world stage, we need to make use of Japan's identity and Japaneseness as a strong point in our stories. This is why I want to present the Ultraman brand. This will lead to the creation of powerful works on a different level. Yo. Further, Tokugashi stated that ultimately we wanted to send out new value-added works that are not in the Hollywood standard, i.e. woke, but we have our unique genes from Japan to Asia and to the world. I would like to put a message into our works and events based on our works. I would like to work with people from different industries to come up with concrete ideas for this. This is the Marvel Comics book. It's actually not bad. I read the first one. I'm reviewing the second one, and the third one comes out shortly. And it wasn't too bad of a reimagination of it, because it stuck with the main premise. Ultimately, Taki concluded the interview by asking the CEO for some insight into his own personal management philosophy, to which Tokugashi replied, I value the relationships I have with the people I meet. No matter how much you talk about your vision or dream, you can't do anything alone. I want to work together with people both inside and outside the company who share my goals and ideas and who share my aspirations and awareness. The basis is people. Currently outside the latest entry into the Ultra series, Ultraman Trigger, New Generation Tiga, Suburia Productions is working on 2 new Ultraman films, which one intended to celebrate the franchise's 55-year legacy, and the other aimed at bringing more Western attention to the interstellar hero. In May 13, 2022, Suburia Productions is set to release Shin Ultraman, a cinematic reimagining of the hero as written and directed by Neon Genesis Evangelion creator Hideaki Anno. Though details surrounding the film are scarce, it currently received a new theatrical poster courtesy of the recently held Suburia Con 2021. There's the beta capsule. Science Patrol ID badge. Pretty sweet. Yeah, that's going to be cool. Additionally, the studio is also working with Netflix and Industrial Light and Magic to pursue a CGI Ultraman film featuring an all-new storyline designed to honor the past mythology. According to a synopsis from Netflix, the film will follow Ken Sato, a superstar baseball player who returns to Japan to become the latest hero to carry the mantle of Ultraman. His plans go awry, however, when he is compelled to raise a newborn kaiju monster, the offspring of his greatest enemy, as his own child. The synopsis concludes Sato will have to contend with his relationship with his estranged father in the scheme of the Kaiju Defense Force. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for Ultraman to be huge in the States, but they do need to keep what makes it unique. And giving into a bunch of woke shit will ruin it. And each Ultraman series is different and has its own pros and cons. Ultra 7 was really cool because it was much more ground-based. He didn't do as much in giant form as the original Ultraman did. And they all had their own theme. Space giants. Well, you know, they can do all kinds of crazy shit. Sounds like a sales pitch with a little control. Yeah. dropping like the West. Yeah, but Japan's always made do. Usually they end up in a war, and that kicks their baby making into high gear. Keeps changing my name. That's weird. Glad Japan is starting to realize making it more appealing to Western audiences is a doomed prospect. People are turning to them because they aren't like the idiots. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Unfortunately, that is a real problem, is once they start watering it down, it loses its uniqueness. Because they're trying to appeal to this broad audience that just doesn't exist. And you're not going to succeed that way. Thank you, Ginger Snap, for that generous donation. Happy New Year, Jack. Happy New Year, Ginger Snap. So, yeah, I have high hopes that they're going to kind of keep an eye on their franchise, especially all they had to do was look at Doctor Who to see what could go horribly wrong with their own franchise. Hey, Evil Ferret, how's it going? Have to check it. Keeps wanting to turn into my daughter's name. That's weird. How you doing, nobody? Speaking of Doctor Who, ICV2 is saying Cubicle 7 will release Doctor Who the role-playing game's 2nd edition starter set. Entry-level RPG box set now on pre-order. I love that box sets are making a comeback because as a 2nd edition D&D nerd, I love box sets. I don't know why. It's just having the maps separate, not having to fuck with your books. I love that. So I'm a big proponent of box sets. Cubicle 7 will release a Doctor Who the role-playing game 2nd edition starter set into retail stores in Q2 2022. It comes with 100 pages of introductory rules to start players off on their time-traveling adventures. It includes the Timeless Library book, which is a new adventure module. The set also comes with a campaign book, the Echo Chamber, as well as 2 rules reference sheets, pre-made characters, dice, and story point tokens. It's going to retail for $30 and is due out some point. It doesn't say Q2, so I'm guessing spring. So this could actually be pretty cool. And yeah, there's the Cthulhu one we talked about. The Cubicle 7 game looked pretty good. I've got the rule book somewhere. I haven't read it yet because, well, I have a channel where I read comics. Could have went the Power Rangers route, but I'm glad they kept Ultraman as is. Me too, Rotten Corpse. Although the differences between the Power Rangers and the Super Sentai is amazingly deep. They're completely different things. But I'm glad they're trying to preserve Ultraman as what he is. And trying to create their franchise that way. I think it's got a lot of potential. And their YouTube channel has Mirror Man episodes as well. So I recommend checking that out if you get a chance. If you like fighting giant monsters and kaiju and stuff like that, you'll dig Ultraman, I think. Especially the older stuff. The new stuff is definitely aimed at younger viewers, but it's still pretty good. But I'm excited about this Doctor Who role-playing game 2nd edition. I know they're going to fuck it up and make it woke, but the rule book for the 1st edition, like I said, looked pretty good. It came out during the 12th Doctor before they ruined it with the Timeless Child nonsense. But yeah, I'm always excited for new Doctor Who stuff that isn't stupid shit, and hopefully that won't be, because you can change the rules. It's role-playing. All right, let's talk about DC Comics. This is from Bleeding Cool. Only 2 articles left, guys. DC Comics gave Vixen a giraffe's tongue to improve cunnilingus skills. In 2017, comic book writer T. Franklin tweeted, "Y'all know I want to write Vixen so bad. It's going to happen." At the end of 2021, she tweeted, "I'm overcome with emotion. I can't describe the amount of happiness flowing through me, how it started versus how it's going. This black, queer, disabled, autistic sex worker has wanted to write Vixen for 4 years now. And now I wrote 2 Vixen stories available in stores this month." That's right. They hire disabled, autistic sex workers to write comic books. This was in the anthology 'Tis the Season to be Freezin'. and the most recent issue of Harley Quinn, the animated series, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour. We have reported at length about the series drawn by Max Sarin. The art is Archie level, but bad. Spinning off from the adult animated series and written in similar tone, slightly toned down, but with more of the DC universe to explore and reinterpret. T. Franklin got into Vixen with the latest issue drawn by Eric Owen. This art is dog shit. I'm sorry. What is that the Joker? What the shit is this? What the fuck is going on here? You are amazing amazing tonight, Mary, as always. Thank you, Ellie. And then they're gonna scissor. She got the hero haircut too. Shaved side of the head. And why is she sticking her ass out like this? That's not how you stand to take a photograph. Created by Jerry Conway and Ben Oxner in 1981, Vixen is a superheroine in possession of the Tantu totem, which allows her to harness the spirits of animals and conjure the power and abilities of any animal, past or present, and someone who meant a lot to T. Franklin. She added, on a serious note, though, if y'all, they always say y'all, and they're not Southern, they're all Pacific Northwest. If y'all really want more of Vixen, I highly suggest grabbing a bunch of copies and getting issue 4 to sell out and have to be reprinted. That would show DC that, hey, the people want more Vixen, and who knows what could happen. Driver, roll up the partition, please. The giraffe tongue. Oh, she's going to go downtown with this terrifying visage here. And that dude's like, yeah, I'm totally watching through the rear view and spank it. Is that Jack Murphy? But it was one scene that caused the most fuss, as Franklin tweeted, Vixen eating pussy with a giraffe tongue. You'll deal. It was a good Joker, but even got a biologist and former zookeeper on the case who told us I used to be a zookeeper. Giraffe tongues are really nice, kind of like moist velvet. If you want to get sloppy, I'd recommend a rhino's tongue. Plus, they have semi-prehensile lips. And on Amazon Kindle Comixology, it certainly did the trick. Let's get 30 reviews. Number 1 bestseller. Fucking dumb. Actually, this sucks. This was terrible art. Mediocre story. I didn't read issue 2. I read issue 1. Inferno from 2021. I didn't read that. It's fucking X-Men. Dark Knight's Knights of Steel. This is Tom Taylor trash. With Franklin noting Vixen's out just shining, beating out Star Wars and Hulk. Yeah, on Comixology. If you want some more Vixen, these tweets ain't cutting it. Open your wallet and support instead of complaining how DC doesn't use her. 2 books dropped this week featuring her. Go scoop it up. Which got the attention of Jordan Blum, co-creator of the MODOK TV series and writer on American Dad and Community, who added, bought my issue, would love to see her get a much bigger profile. Congrats on bringing her to a whole new audience. T. Franklin freaked out a little bit, saying, holy shit, Jordan! This means so much to me. Thank you. I've been begging at Katie Kubert damn near every week to give me Vixen. I know she's tired of me. Vixen deserves so much more. What better time to introduce her than now? Because Vixen wasn't a huge member of the Justice League in the 80s and 90s, whatever. That'd be Katie Kubert, DC Comics editor, also recently featured on Bleeding Cool for being promoted from editor to senior editor and team leader in charge of global publishing, innovation group at DC Comics. Yeah, she skyrocketed because they fired a bunch of other people. Jordan replied, hope you get that series. I'd kill to write a backup if you'd have me. With Franklin replying, dude, what? That'd be cool AF. I really, really hope I get that opportunity. The fact that you supported this series is blowing my mind, Jordan. I'd love to write something badass with you, even if it's not a Vixen series. Oh my God, stop fangirling. T. Franklin also confirmed that after there was some disquiet by older Vixen fans. And yes, if given a chance to write a Vixen series, she would certainly be queer. Ellie and Mary deserve. That's a period. That's the sentence. Ellie and Mary deserve. Black disabled queer love exists. With Franklin asking, where are the articles about Vixen being queer and dating a disabled woman? Or coverage only for white superheroes? Sorry, T. Bleeding Cool has been a bit distracted of late. Hope this makes up for it. Yeah, virtue signal. Everybody's gay now. Everybody. Your favorite character? Gay. Or bi at the minimum. Probably secretly bi-curious and you just didn't know it. And later you're going to find out that they had like a chatterbait thing. And for those Vixen fans so offended by the portrayal above, T is the answer for them. Don't worry, homophobes. Vixen still fucks men. What? I made sure to write a story so you won't feel left out. Prick up. 'Tis the season to be freezing for all you straight Vixen needs. Oh my god, it's so offensive. Oh, look at this. Oh, vile, disgusting degeneracy. Straight people? Ugh, gross. Don't buy either one of these turd fests. That 'Tis the season's $10. And the other one's $4. I don't give a fuck about either one of these. They're both going to sell terrible. This will be in the dollar bin. This will be in the $2 bin. It's fucking dumb. And yeah, once again, it's self-inserts. Look at this. What did she say? She was a black, queer, disabled, autistic sex worker. Black, queer, disabled. One of them's probably turning tricks. Fucking lazy. Yeah, she was on the Just League Unlimited show, yeah. It's not a new character. These fools are gross. Exactly, Lion. Ew. It said y'all a lot. Yeah, Cannibal, a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest have adopted that for some reason, and it just seems to have caught on. I find it odd, though, whenever I hear somebody that doesn't have a Southern drawl saying y'all. The Justice League Detroit. Not that kind of heroin, Evil One. Sorry. You're not wrong, BG. That I guess I should have thought of that. Of course, the side of her head shaved. Yeah, or that they think that is a personality and that is a story. People going on dates is a story to them. It's lazy, it's boring, and it's going to encompass the majority of what you're seeing from them. It's really shockingly lazy too and unimaginative. You have an unlimited budget and that's what you do with it. It's fucking pathetic. Thank you, Hyman Lyman. Happy New Year. Have a great one. Thanks, man. You too. I hope 2022 is better for all of us than 2021 was. Yeah, these are people that have limited real world experience. They spend most of their time on Twitter and other social media platforms. They don't interact with people that disagree with them in any respect. They don't go out in the real world and see what kind of things people do. So they don't understand character traits. They don't understand what makes a person complex. And that is the biggest hindrance to their writing they could have by not interacting with people outside their general wheelhouse. That's one of the nice things about being a freak magnet, quite honestly, because I have to interact with a lot of different types of people, mostly crazies. But you get to see a broad swath of people, and you get to hear them talk about stuff they think is important. And it's not always what you think is important. And that really develops you as a person. And when you live in an enclave, like you live it all in one area where people think the same as you, other artsy types, you go to a liberal arts school, you're only being exposed to a very tiny group of people. And it's very, very limiting. And it's not healthy for your own emotional growth, but also as your career goal. That's why you see a lot of these superhero books turning characters gay, because they think that's a personality. It's not a trait. It's an entire personality, because they have no depth. They have a shallow, limited experience with real people. And it's really sad, but it also hurts their industry, because that's just boring. Not many people really want to read romance stories like that. It is true fiction to them. And that's really the worst part. Or it would be horrifying. It'd be all hairy bushes and armpits. So let's look at our last article, and then I'll probably talk a little drama. All right, finally, from comicbook.com. Dungeons & Dragons inspirational book announced. An officially licensed Dungeons & Dragons inspirational book will be released next year. How to be more D&D. Face your dragons, be more adventurous, and live your best geeky life. You want to see the cover? Because it's lazy as fuck. Look at that. This is a licensed product, guys. That is the most generic fucking thing I've ever seen. $20, $18 for the hardcover. And it's full of all these fucking errors. It's written by Kat Kruger, the dungeon master for the popular podcast D20 Dames. I've never heard of this, and I don't really care. And writer of several D&D products, including a line of D&D adventures tied to the release of D&D-themed Nerds candy products earlier this year. I've never heard of that, and I'm sad I learned about it now. This book, published by Hatchet Book Groups, will be released August 23rd, 2022. What? This is only a pre-order for that far in advance? Yeah, not been released yet. That's fucking dumb. Why would I want to pre-order a year in advance? The book is another sign of just how big D&D has become in recent years, not only in the game reaching millions of new players each year with products available for sale at major retailers like Target and Walmart. Yeah, the core boxes, the D&D starter box, goes for about $20 at Target and Walmart. And I've seen it at like the other big box stores like Meijer and some of the other places. I know a lot of you guys don't have Meijer around you, but if you're in Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, maybe Pennsylvania and Kentucky, and I think they're expanding into Tennessee, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's like a Walmart. The core box goes for $20, and it's actually a pretty good box set. Not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but not bad. And the Essentials box goes for about $25. I would pick that one up because it's a little bit better. But they're not bad. They're not bad box sets, and you can play the game, and it's trimmed down, so there's not a lot of woke shit in there. The franchise also has had several licensed books released over the past few months, including a best-selling YA novel. That's a low bar. A D&D movie is currently in post-production with a planned release of March 2023. The official description of how to be more D&D, which I assume means you go out and kill people with broadswords and take over villages, I don't know, reads, tackle life with advantage in this officially licensed guide to life inspired by the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Battle poetry, dude. Battle poetry. This playful, inspirational book invites fantasy lovers and fans of Dungeons & Dragons to celebrate and incorporate different elements of this iconic tabletop game in their lives and help them live their best, geekiest life. No, there was a time, and it was honestly a much more enlightening time, when you learned to keep your geek shit quiet. And you don't talk about it. You would rather talk about your jerking off habits than you would about D&D. Because nothing dries a vag up faster than talking about your character. Sorry, guys. Written by Kat Kruger, I just read that a second ago. You'll learn how to take the skills, knowledge, and sense of adventure from your D&D campaign to help you better understand everything from how you interact with the world around you to facing random events that life sometimes throws at you. You know, like dungeon crawling and fighting off roving bands of orcs. With advice from classic player classes like Fighter, Warlock, Bard, Monk, or Ranger, and ways to take your experience as a player or a dungeon master and use them in your day-to-day life, How to Be More D&D also features interactive elements like building your character and Dungeon Master State of Mind. Quizzes like, what is your D&D class? And paired with rich, full-color art from the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Recycled art. Whether it's to build your real-world character, discovering your ideal class and strengths, harnessing 3 pillars of play for everyday use, or using role-playing techniques to your advantage, How to Be More D&D explores how to enjoy the campaign known as life. It is a perfect gift for any tabletop gamer or D&D fan. If somebody gave me this, I would unfriend them instantly. Instantly. Talk about video games before D&D? Yeah, because it's more acceptable to talk about playing like Call of Duty. This looks like one of those books you buy and put in the bathroom for people to read while they take a shit. You know, a shit book. Yeah, like the Uncle John's bathroom mirror. I wouldn't even put this in there because that would make them hurry up and get out of my bathroom. But I'd put this in my enemy's bathroom so that their girlfriends are like, yeah, we need to talk. How to never get a date 101. Yes, I would like to roll my charisma. I'd like to save versus bully. What the fuck are you people talking about? This is like a cross between Cosmo for nerds and chicken soup for the nerd soul. This is dumb. This is a horrible, horrible idea. It's stupid. It will appeal to the pseudo fake nerds, the hipster nerds that are like, oh, look at me, look how cool I am. And they don't give a fuck about this insofar as it gets them attention. That's all they care about. So I hate the very idea of this, and it shows how far D&D has gone down the shitter in quality, and we really, really need TSR to come back and make some good games. So, again, here's their Indiegogo link to support them. Because they need the help to fight Wizards of the Coast so they can release some real fantasy games. Because, yeah, it's fucking bullshit what WOTC's doing to this franchise. You're not wrong, Cannibal, but I can't talk about that on the stream, unfortunately. More gamer girls than tabletop gamer girls. Yeah, you're not wrong, unfortunately. Chicken soup for the soul D&D edition. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that assessment. Have you attracted a black cripple hoe writing comic books in your day? I never heard of that before. I guess it turning tricks has to pay the bills, I guess. So this really pissed me off. And I was really annoyed by the entire thing because what a stupid concept. But then I did see something else that pissed me off. I saw a Comic Book Hut posted this. Richard C. Meyer said, in the hectic modern world of electricity, rocks that look like other rocks, and weird clouds, we at Splato Comics know your mental health is our number 2 concern. We're not going to violently fire our comic books at you like a bullet out of a gun mere days after a campaign ends. Go long and we will gently lob the comic to you eventually. If you're an undergrad, we'll wait till you have a nice cushy graduate degree. Just married, we'll wait until after the divorce proceedings have been finalized. Just enlist the military, we'll wait till you attain the rank of general. It's about you and your mental health and safety to us. Comics are not bullets. I know there's some sarcasm here, but he did recently release a poll on his page. And it was about comics getting out on time. And see, how do you feel about lateness when it comes to crowdfunding? It's expected, whatever the fuck this means, and unacceptable. You know what? As late as his books have been, it's fucking unacceptable. Oop, I'm not sharing. I'm smart. Pulled a monkey. Monkey's live if you want to join him. Yeah, this is the last thing I wanted to cover. And this really pissed me off because he used to talk about and bitch about the industry doing this where they'd put out books nobody wanted and they'd put out late books, that sort of thing. And all the crowdfunders have been getting later and later. Cyberfrog's over a year late. Again. Zach took over a year to get 3 different books out. And I think there's still one out that isn't done. It's Jawbreakers one. And he's got 2 more ones. He's got Knife Hand and Rock and Roll Ninja. And I think there's another one now. Are they going to be late too? Because it looks like he doesn't fucking care. This tweet implies that he'll get the book to you when he's good and fucking ready and you'll suck it up and like it. That's bullshit. And that's why I don't support this fucking crap. We're not going to get the book out to you when the campaign ends. You know what? Who does get their book out to me after the campaign ends? Tim Lim. I've gotten my book on time every time from him. I got all the Common Americas and the Black Ops. And they all came on time. Some of them came early. And this really pissed me off. He's justifying bad behavior in late books. And I was really, really annoyed by this. Because he's late on his books and he's trying to find a way to justify it. And there's no excuse for it. In the past, he crapped on B. Clay Moore for this very thing. B. Clay Moore had a Hawaiian Dick book out after like 4 years. Well, is that something Zach's going to do, or is he just going to completely flake on us too? So I'd be real hesitant after reading these last couple of things that he did with this. He's done a couple of these community posts and this poll, and he seems to think it's okay to be late. And quite frankly, this would make me very gun shy to back his books. And considering that his last 3 or 4 books have been late, like extremely late, and I know the Expendables book was completed for like months before he finally got it out. And there was no excuse for that. He was just dragging his feet for some reason. That tells me that you're unreliable. You're probably mismanaging the money. And it doesn't make me confident that I'm going to even get my book in any kind of semblance of time, ever. Look, if you're an undergrad, we'll wait till you get a nice cushy graduate degree. That's like 8 years, right? Or 6 years. Is that a joke, or are you serious? Because this is insulting, man. You're shitting all over your audience, and it shows that his sales have gone down significantly since the first Jawbreakers, which I enjoyed. I thought the Jawbreakers books were pretty good, but the numbers are going down for a reason, Richard. And it's because of stuff like this, where whether you're joking or not, people are losing confidence in you. You're not delivering stuff in a timely manner. And say what you will about the comic book cut, he brought this out there, and I wouldn't have seen it otherwise because I don't follow Richard anymore. But I'm not going to back his books because it looks like he doesn't want to sell me a hot dog. He just wants to take my money, tell me he's going to give me a hot dog, and never do it. Reminds me of, what's the guy's name? Wimpy from the Popeye cartoons. I'll gladly pay you Thursday for a hamburger today. So he wants me to do something for him, but he's nebulously going to give me something back eventually. I don't know about that, dude. Graham Nolan, Malin, Shane Davis, Cal Ritter, and bankrupt within a week of closing. Yeah, a lot of people have their stuff done and out the door. And he's not one of them. Look at all the money he's made, and he's dragging his feet on sending books out. Do you think that's a sustainable model? Because I don't. Nobody's gotten any detective dead because that dude pissed away all the money. And after getting burned a few times like that with people that don't know what they're doing, you start getting nervous about even the big guns doing it. And the fact that Ethan Van Sciver came out recently and said the book will get out when it gets out. It has to take its time. The book's already a year late, dude. A little over that, actually. And he's saying sometime he'll get around to getting it done. A lot of these campaigns from these big Comicsgate guys aren't getting out. And it's disgusting, and it's really, really lazy. So, yeah, I have very little faith in these guys even doing these books anymore. And that's why I stopped backing the majority of crowdfunders. I only back from people that I know are going to get stuff out. I've had great luck with Top Secret Press and Iconic Comics, which was Tim Lim and Doug Ernst's books. I've got all those. They're really good. Well, I've got the omnibus for Black Ops, and I've got all the individual Common Americas, and I've got both of the Soul Finder ones, and I'll gladly back their stuff because I know I'm going to get it. I don't give a fuck about the politics. I want good books, and I want them in my hands. And sometimes you got to pay a little more, sometimes you don't. The Common America stuff's dirt cheap. And the Top Secret Press stuff is reasonably priced. I'll gladly drop $8 on an indie book if I think I'm going to enjoy it. Evius and Fraga are getting shit in the last few months, and it's great. Cecil was just for fun. Yeah, Cecil's book is like a year late, too. Less streaming time, more time making the books. Exactly, Rodline. They don't seem to care about the books. The books are an afterthought. I don't even know if they're still making books because it looks like they're just trying to scam money at this point. Like your boy Zach here completely doing a 180 on what he used to say about getting the stuff in your hands. And now he's just sort of like, whatever, I'll get to it if I get to it. You're not guaranteed a book. He actually fucking said that. You're not guaranteed a book. Well, then what am I paying you for? I don't give you money just so you can be like, well, I like giving my money away. No, I work hard for my money. Fuck you, dude. You promised a book at a specific time. It should be at that time or before, preferably. Cecil's book is for fun. Sorry. Yeah, but he's still late on getting it out. And there's no excuse for that. There really isn't. Even Umbrella Guy got his books out on time, and he gave himself a full year. Like, if your book's going to take a year, it's going to take a year. But there's no reason for some of these books to take a year. Ethan Van Sciver's a fucking professional for 20-some years. And you're telling me it takes him over a year to draw one fucking comic book? You got to be shitting me. It should take him a month to do that. Especially because it was only like, 40 pages. Okay, yeah, 2 months. Cool story, dude. Fucking do it. And hire an editor while you're at it, too. As did Adam and Stitch. I'm not as familiar with them, but yeah, I've heard they got their books out. And we've seen a lot of these so-called professionals getting their stuff out late. And say what you will about Richard C. Meyer, this is his full-time job now. He is a professional. He runs Splato Comics as a living. And he's been late with the last 4 books. And I think Knife Hand is creeping up on being late. And Rock and Roll Ninja will probably be late too. So if he doesn't get his shit together, he's going to lose all of that goodwill that he's built up. And you've already seen that his support numbers have dropped drastically. That he's lost half of the Jawbreakers backers from the first Jawbreakers book to the most current one. So it's a shame that these guys want to burn whatever goodwill they have with bad mistakes, bad decision making, and sitting around on the computer goofing off, talking to their friends. It's a giant waste of time, and it's stupid. So you have to hold these guys to the same level as you would DC or Marvel for putting out their dog shit books. And a lot of those are late quite often too. So I don't think it's unfair to hold them accountable at the same rate. And I know that's not a popular opinion with EVS and Richard, but I don't think it's unfair. It's just unpopular. Just because you like the guys doesn't mean you can't hold them accountable for the dumb shit they do. On that note, that's my drama rant. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Hit the like button, hit the share button, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for the very generous donations. It is greatly appreciated. And real quick, I'm going to find a link to give you guys because I got to whore myself a little more. I didn't do much of that today. So, yeah, because why not? I know Costin dropped a link a couple times in there, and that was super awesome of him. But I'll drop a couple of links in here. Evan Stitch got their books out and wasn't bad. Their new one is $250,000 and I'm in. Nice. Yeah, I'll back people that are reliable, but anymore, if I don't know anything about them, I'm not backing somebody I've never heard of unless I can figure out that they're reliable. Yeah, I'll be over on Monkey Stream as soon as I'm done here and I take a whiz. So yeah, like I said, there's a handful of people that I will back because I've had good experiences with them. Iconic Comics, definitely. And 6 Scale Combat, never had a problem with that dude. And I like his Napalm Brothers books quite a bit. I'm not sure if those are still up on Indiegogo, but if they are, check them out. Great stuff. Really surreal, like blacklight art. It's really cool. I like it a lot for some reason. But yeah, Top Secret Press, got no issue backing those guys. They really do produce. So there's a handful of them that I've had good luck with that I would back. But beyond that, a lot of the stuff that has burned me one too many times. But have a great night, you guys. Happy New Year. Yes, Ginger, Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much for that generous donation. But you guys have a wonderful night, and I will hopefully see you on Monkey Stream. Thank you for dropping the link, Kiverdam. Have a good night, everybody. Yes, go Indies.